Well, that's a lovely view, isn't it? We're here at the 2025 European Rowing Coastal and Beach Sprint Championships. Today is the final day of the coastal event, endurance categories over 6K. Beautiful temperature this morning. Can't wait to describe the racing for you today. I'm Martin Cross, and with me is coastal expert Niamh Hayes.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Martin. Yeah, delighted to be here for day 2 of racing. We had some really exciting racing yesterday with the heats and final Bs. We are moving on to final As in both the Club Coastal Endurance and the National Federation, Member Federation endurance races today. So yesterday we saw some 4K races. Today there'll be 6-kilometer races and beautiful conditions here this morning. I'm sure some of the hardcore coastal rowers will have woken up this morning and looked at the sea and will be a little bit disappointed because it's much flatter than what it was yesterday. We had some storms over the last few days with some big waves, much flatter today.
Yeah, I have to say I'm a tad disappointed, but pleased that everything's gone smoothly. And you could see well, they're not the club, but they're actually the national mixed doubles event. So men and women both together in these boats. You can see some federations have got like 2 entries, like Great Britain there. Finland have got 2 entries, Poland. We'll take you through the crews, but we're very shortly going for the start. There's a kind of signal here to our right, which are 3 balls, and they drop one by one, which signifies sort of 3 balls is 3 minutes to the start. So these guys in the boats know roughly when the start's going to be, and they have to be behind that sort of imaginary line. Is that right, Niamh?
Yes, we can see 2 big yellow triangles out in the water. Well, you can see one on your screen, the top middle of the screen. There's 2 of those. It's about 100 meters apart. And so all crews, there's 14 boats in this race. They have to line up behind that line, imaginary line. It does not matter where they line up. There's no lanes in this. But with this water start, it's all about getting as much advantage as you can. So you can see there's a bit of bunching up the top of the screen there. Crews are opting for that top corner. That's because the direction of the wind today, it's a bit north-northwest, so it's coming from the right-hand side as we're looking out at the beach a little bit. So they don't want to be pushed too far down the course, so they're opting for that top corner.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be fascinating. So if you were tuning into World Rowing yesterday, you saw the heats. You'll know that the way we tell which crew is which is there's a big number on the bow of the boat. And when we get a closer look at the numbers, we can tell you which crew we're looking at. And the drones will fly close in as we go on. And that's basically how we tell who's in the lead and in what position. We'll give you some intermediate times. There is less than a minute to go to the start. This double here seems to be drifting pretty close. Some of these federations will have national blade colours, but others just have white blades, so it makes it slightly more challenging to identify.
It certainly does indeed. Yeah, the crew closest to us here, they're having to back up. It's not really what you want to be doing because the water can come in over the stern of the boats there if you back too hard, but I think water is kind of flat enough here that that won't happen. So yeah, you can see like in the middle of the course, some of the boats are starting to move here now. That means that they've had a timer with them and they want to be up as much speed as they can as they cross that start line. So yes, here we go. We're off the start of the Coastal Mixed Double Sculls. This is the member federation race. So these rowers are representing their country here now in this race, and it is our first 6-kilometer race of the championships.
Yeah, so these crews have blasted out pretty hard. I mean, it's a long race, obviously 2K longer than the heats. What's the idea of blasting out so fast early on?
So the idea is it's always generally about a 1-kilometer leg right out to the first turning point, and the idea is to race as hard as you can out that 1K. I know it sounds crazy when it's an endurance race, but really you want to get ahead early so that you're not involved in a collision at that first turning point. And it's very hard to try and gnaw your way back if you do end up back in the field. You'd prefer to be in the lead and looking back at your competitors or looking straight ahead at them.
And I've got another question. I can't see the buoy from here. How can they see the buoy? How do they know where they're going, Niamh?
So when you are out on the starting line, you will be, when you turn around, you will be able to see, because they're big yellow turning points. So you have to just continuously look over your shoulder to make sure that you're in line. A lot of these rowers now, it will be their first time on the course, because there wasn't much training happening this week, and of course there was no heats in this. So a lot of them, you know, if they were out early, we saw them out 40 minutes before the start of the race, they would have been looking for markers on the land as well to try and line themselves up.
So there's some real quality athletes in this race. My eyes were drawn to the Netherlands number 1 double, Amos Keizer, Martin Velhurst. Martin was in the Paris Olympics, finished 4th in the double scull with Leija Scheinard. The great Joel Nakarainen, the Finnish multi-talented athlete. He's sculling with Eva Karpinen, daughter of the 3 times Olympic single sculls champion Pertti Karpinen. Your eye, Katarina Lobnig, who is the sister to Magdalena, who's also racing here. Magdalena Lobnig took bronze in the Tokyo Olympics for Austria. But there are some fantastic athletes that we're going to describe to you when our drone flies over these crews, which is not flying over the crews yet, as you can see.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have no shots of where anyone is coming right now. No GPS data for us right now. Oh, here we go. We have some drone footage coming into us. So yeah, they're still making their way out this first leg. It's 1,000 meters. Things starting to spread out a little bit, but not too much. So you can see actually there's 2 turning points not too far away from each other. So they have to go, as we're looking at it, to the right side of that first one and start to head left. So they're going down.
So these crews on the left-hand side of the course, they've really got to move over towards the right-hand side of the screen, and that can be quite challenging if there are crews in the way.
Absolutely, and that's why we saw a lot of bunching at the start line over on that side, because they knew that they would, the way the wind and waves were pushing them, that they'd have more space if they started over on that right-hand side of the course as we're looking at them.
And there seems to be a swell coming from right to left, which is different to yesterday when the primary swell seemed to be coming sort of straight towards us.
Yeah, conditions changing, and you can see like the bows are kind of moving around the place quite a bit, so it's quite side on here now, which maybe they weren't prepared for. So we're starting to come up to the first turning point here now. First crew starting to head around that. They have 100 meters now to go to the next turning point. So yes, things starting to open up. We have 2:06 here in that third position. That is Spain. 01 strong coastal rowers there.
Yeah, the Spanish squad's really strong. Reynosa Carrillo and Garcia in 2:06.
We have Netherlands 02 there, currently sitting in second position, but it is Finland. It is looking like in that lead.
Nakarainen,
yes.
Is that Nakarainen in the bow seats? The fearsome Joel Nakarainen, indoor Versa champion, which is a kind of multi-discipline indoor rowing champion, and Eva Karpinen. We chatted to them yesterday out on the beach on the training course. They look great coming in, surfing on the waves, but this is a fearsome start and nobody can live with them. Do you think they know that's what Joel and Eva do? They go out early and hang on?
Yeah, I think they knew they wanted to be in this position. They wanted to get ahead and create enough space so that they could kind of stay out of trouble. And you can see them now. You can see the swell is with them on this little bit of a leg here now. So the speed is starting to increase. But these 2 boats behind them, we have Spain and Netherlands too. They're not too far behind them right now at the moment. And you'll start to see the experience of the coastal rowers come in now as they start to use this bit of a swell and start to surf these waves a little bit.
But it's interesting looking at the Finnish boat. I mean, I'd say they're going over at 35, 36 strokes a minute. I mean, that's pretty much what you'd race on 2K on flat water. And Ava, it's an interesting decision to put the female athlete in the stroke seat. Almost all these doubles have the female athlete in the stroke seat. Couple have the male athlete. Why would you choose to put the woman in the stroke seat, Niamh?
Couple of different reasons. You want a bit of extra weight in the bow to help with that surf, but also we have the added element of the finish of the the Finnish crew want to be strong at the finish, where we have a beach run, and if they've tested their athletes, they might know that one is faster than the other on the run. So you can see here now this boat flying in here is starting to use that little bit of a swell here. That is 2:11. That is Spain 02. Another 2 strong rowers, Salvador and Marta there. We've seen them in the coastals over the years.
Yeah, Spain 02, right up there to start off with Salvador Diaz Moreno and Ramata Dallas Heras Jambrino, 20 and 23 years of age. Youngsters, really, compared to Nakarainen and Karpinen.
They're your Netherlands 01 crew that you mentioned
Ah,
a little
yeah.
while ago.
So these are, to my money, the favourites to win. I mean, Martine Veldhuis must be the best female sculler here. She's a former lightweight, and I thought it was amazing what she did, really, coming into the openweight category. She made the openweight team with Laser Shaynard. They just missed a medal in the Olympics. But she's doing her medical studies, Martine, so she's not able to really go for the national team this year, but coastal she is. And, well, Ava and Nakarainen, Joel, still absolutely trucking on.
They are, yeah. You could see Joel there looking around a lot. So this leg is 1,800 meters, and when you are out there in the open sea, that is a pretty long way to try and find your turning point. Now it is broken up with one in the middle, so we're going to see a yellow marker about 750 meters down this straight, which will just guide them down to the further one, which will be a red turning point. But I've been out there on those 6K courses, and it is quite no one to judge yourself off.
And Joel Nakarainen there's just become a dad. I think his daughter is Matilda, 3 months old.
Yes.
And they often go down to train in Alicante because obviously in the winter, particularly in Finland, you can't do coastal rowing. But Joel likes to do the training in the warm water at the Coastal Rowing Centre in Alicante.
Yes, indeed, trying to get the best out of himself as he hopefully prepares for maybe an Olympics in a few years' time, is what he was telling us earlier on. So they're making good use of those waves. They're timing it well. You can see the speed dropping here as they go in between those swells, and then they're starting to up the rate to match the speed so that they get that little bit of a surf. And it is helping because they're starting to open up that gap now again between themselves and the rest of the field. So Joel was going to go in the men's solo yesterday, but he pulled out because he probably knew he had enough races to do today, and they're involved in beach sprints as well. So yeah, they're tipping along nicely, keeping up that rate. And you have to in these boats. They don't have that much of a run, so you're better off just keeping it going nice and steady.
I want to say it reminds me of the tactics of the Netherlands crews at the recent World Championships in Shanghai. High rating and just blast out. And you can see Joel looking over his shoulder there for that marker. How important are those look rounds?
Oh, incredibly important, because if you go off course, you're going to be adding meters and meters to yourself. So if you can look over your shoulder every few strokes at the finish, if you can, it's going to really help to make sure that you are on course. But it's clear that Eva trusts him a lot. She's not having to look around at all. She's just getting the best out of herself, just keeping that rate up. That's her job, keep that rate up, allow the power to come from both of them. But yes, it is, particularly when you're in the lead, you have to ensure that you are on course because, it's so easy for another boat to come in on top of you very quickly.
I'd say with some crews, this might not be sustainable. And, the Spanish or the crew from the Netherlands behind Netherlands 01 would have a chance to catch up. But with somebody as fearsomely fit as Nakarainen and his partner, Ava Karpinen, you just think they're going to sustain this the whole way around the course.
I think so. And he was telling us yesterday he probably isn't as fit as he could be because of where he's been training.
Yeah, because basically he has like an altitude chamber in
Yes.
Finland, but not in Spain, and
Yeah.
he wants to get an altitude chamber in Spain. So essentially, he can, make that his fitness paradise, I guess.
Exactly. So he was telling us his fitness maybe decreasing recently. Certainly doesn't look like it right now. He's well able to keep up with the rate here, and they are just powering on now. They shouldn't be too far away from that turning point. It's turning point 4 is what it's called. It's going to be a big red marker before they turn and come in towards shore. But yeah, this isn't even the longest leg. There's going to be a longer one coming up here now. But yes, lots of looking around here. So be interesting to see has anyone gotten closer. There was that Netherlands crew, Spanish crew there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get a look at the race going on for second and third. I'm sure that our friendly drone operators will be able to take us back to look. We can look back there at, well, great bow shot of the finish, and they are moving out on the cruise behind. I mean, I would say that's a good 20, 25-second lead that they've got so far. You must feel pretty good with that kind of lead.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because, you know, the conditions are ever changing. There's lots of things can happen, lots of things can go wrong out there, particularly when we get towards the end of the race. So to be able to get a lead like that, you're putting yourself into good position that if anything does go wrong, you know, or like that you still have time and you still have space. So here we have that big red marker, turning point 4. Lovely, you know, they lined it up perfectly there. We're able to keep the speed up, didn't have to drop whatsoever. And now they're heading in.
That was so impressive. So we're going to have a look now at who's in the race for second and third, and we will look out for those bow numbers. Netherlands won, their bow number is 204. So your eyes are probably as good as ours. That's 208 or 206 it looks like, and was that 204 going through there? Hard to see.
So I think we had a Spanish and we had Netherlands 02 potentially there.
Yeah, Netherlands 02, Schepper and Hospers.
We have 202 Austria. We hadn't mentioned that, well, you mentioned Katarina Lobnig and Yuri Suchak, incredible coastal and beach rower.
Yeah, 211 there. That's Spain 2, Diaz Moreno and De las Heras Chambrino. Spain really focusing on coastal and beach sprint for the Olympic squad. And great race between these guys now. How unusual are these tactics?
Yeah, when there's so much space in the ocean out there, you'd be wondering why are they on top of each other like that. But it was just coming around that marker turn. You know, they both had a similar line. In this sport, you want to avoid collisions as much as possible because, you know, if those two boats get stuck in each other and oars are under the boats, you could be stopped there for quite a while. So that's 206 there that we are looking at. That is Spain 01.
So Reynosa Carrillo and Garcia. And then we're looking at that
was Netherlands
2.
So they're your second and third position right now.
Yeah, so what's happened to Kaiser and Veldhuis, we don't know yet. So Martine Veldhuis completing her medical studies, as we said earlier in commentary, so perhaps not the time to devote to training that she might have otherwise done. The kind of rating seems to have settled now for Karpinen and Nakarainen.
They seem to have settled slightly. They have a bit of a side swell here now. So the idea with this is like your hands and your blades are going to be at different heights when the waves are coming at you from the side. So it's just about catching as much water as you can and keeping the blades in the water as much as you can. So they have settled the rate slightly. They know how much of a lead they have now. So probably focusing on that leg drive, that power, before they have another big leg coming up here now. Look at this. Look how tight they went to that.
That's crazy. On the red buoy, round pretty quickly, so that's pretty much a 90-degree turn. I was going to ask, actually, you know, with all that swell, which is significant, how much water actually gets in the boat?
There can be quite a bit, but they are self-bailing, so the way they're set up, the water should just swim back out of it as it comes in.
So Schepper and Hospers, Sjoerd Schepper and Sonja Hospers from the Netherlands second boat, just going round there. Sjoerd Schepper from a student from Cal Berkeley, and Sonja Hospers from the Neerhouse Club.
And here we have, oh, where is this boat coming from? We have Austria 01 just going around that marker, 211 just cut in, that is Spain 02.
I love the way 211 did
01.
that. Oh, Netherlands 01, and Martine Veldhuis just pulling the blades in there. Get them in, Martine, and off you go. So they're up there, and, you know, the thing is, top three crews get a medal. You can see you've got Nakarainen there, you've got the Netherlands 02 boat there, and that's the Spanish, isn't it, in third place? So
yeah,
they're the medalists at the moment. So whether any of those trailing crews can get into the medal zone on this long leg back, God, they're really riding the swell there, aren't they? See the Spanish boat, it's like rocking up and down. When the bow comes out of the waves, I guess the boat slows down. Is that right, when it comes out like that, or is it speed stays pretty constant?
Yeah, so they're up against the swell now, so the speed is going to drop slightly. So yeah, there's a lot to contend with here, particularly like catching that water and making, you really have to feel that water on the blades before you put on that drive, because you could be pulling air very easily.
Yeah, so I guess like the wind must have changed because the swell was coming with that storm from the south, but now the swell is coming from the westerly direction, straight into the cruise.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so it's really interesting to get used to the conditions. There's our leaders.
Yeah, Finland are one here. Just, there's a 2,000 meter leg here now. This is a big, long leg that they are up against the swell here now. So again, it's just about feeling and catching.
Oh, there's a big
water.
one coming up for Nakarainen, right over the swell. It's like being in the Southern Ocean, the equivalent of in that round the world's yacht race, the Vendée Globe, where you've got these massive swells the boat has to contend with. I know it's not as big as the Southern Ocean, but I mean, these are much smaller boats. So relatively, I mean, it must feel like a kind of bucking bronco almost in the bows of the boats like that, when you get that sensation at speed and the bow diving into the swells.
Absolutely, and particularly in the quads, you'd be known to see like the bow person is up in the air and very easily can lose their seat as well when it's a swell like that, when you're jumping in and out of the water. That's not something you want to happen in these sort of races. It can take some time to try and get the seat back on the rails.
Yeah, so we're talking to Ava about her dad, Pertti, triple Olympic champion, 76, 80 and 84, amazing records. And I guess he's pretty much retired now, except you won't be surprised from anything to do. He's still very much involved with rowing and...
gets out in her boat, I believe, the coastal boat.
Yeah, when she's finished training. Did she tell us that? When they finished, Pertti likes to get out in his daughter's boat and do a few Ks.
Yeah, so this crew, they came second last year at these European Championships. So, working hard here now, looking for that gold medal.
But the thing is, I mean, you would say their level has now gone up astronomically. They are dominating this event so much. So whatever Nakarainen and Karpinen have been doing. And I find it fascinating that Joel, when he raced in the single, and same too with Ava, they were kind of, I guess, C-final sort of standards. But here, they're just on top of the world.
Yeah, it's just that endurance, that's the power. Like, he's a very versatile athlete, and this sort of racing really suits him. So what we're seeing here, this yellow, it's not essentially a turning point. It's just a halfway mark to let them know they're on course to go to the next turning point.
Because basically, if the buoy was 2K away, they couldn't see it and they wouldn't know where they were going. So they put a 1K buoy in on the 2K leg, so they know roughly the right direction.
Exactly. So they were actually they were turning points for the 4K course yesterday. They just left them out as visual aids. I've been out in 6K finals where that visual point hasn't been there. So you're trying to look for 2K. You're looking 2K away to find your marker. It's pretty impossible. Again, particularly because these athletes haven't been out in the course training this week.
So to the right of the screen, you can see the hotels, which are pretty much near the finish area. The gap in between the sort of two blocks is where the finish area is based. So that will give you some idea of where Joel and Eva are on the course. But it massively improved finish crew from the one that took second place in last year's Europeans, which were in Dansk, yeah?
They were indeed, yes. I wasn't there myself, but it was some incredible racing came out of there. But yeah, just holding on to that lead, like we're seeing the boats there back in second and third position. Not entirely sure who is coming where. It was Netherlands 02 and one of the Spanish crews. Austria had been in fourth position. Things may have changed on this leg because these sort of big, long, open legs do suit certain athletes. Other times it's more kind of the chicanes and the turning points suit other athletes. But just big, long, powerful strokes are needed for this long leg.
So you can see that distance to the crew from the Netherlands. We assume that's Netherlands 2 there. We haven't really talked much about Sword Shepper, the Cal Berkeley athlete. He's graduated from there, the 24-year-old. And Sonja Hospers. They're kind of looked after here by Bjorn van den Ende, who was an Olympian himself in Tokyo, rode bow in the Dutch men's 8, and I guess he's assisted by the great Ronnie Florijn, who is here helping with the Dutch crews. And if you don't know who Ronnie Florijn is, nowadays he's more famous as the one of the parents of Finn Florijn and Caroline Florijn, both Olympic champions, but himself, he was a double Olympic champion in the doubles in Seoul in '88 with Rick Ricks, and in the 8 in '96. And his wife too is Antti Reinhag. She rode for Germany, so there we go.
So we're seeing a shot here of Austria 01, so Katarina Lobnik, Yuri Suchak.
That's, no, 208. I think that's Netherlands 02 just there, I thought.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because if it was Austria, they'd have really had a fantastic second leg.
Here they are on the right.
Oh, yeah, that's it. So 206, again, that is the crew from Spain 1. Ivan Reynosa Carrillo and Juan Lola Garcia, the female athlete, in the stroke seat.
And this is your Netherlands 01 crew that you mentioned there, really after coming into the mix here.
Yeah. So is a medal on for Netherlands 01? Could the Dutch get sort of a silver and bronze? That's the question I'm asking. And who's that boat behind? Is that one of the Spanish boats? That's 211, so that's Spanish 2. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so things really changing kind of on this long leg here. Again, it's suiting some athletes for sure. So yeah, this is kind of the medal battle, I suppose, for the silver and the bronze. Leaders are well out there. They're coming towards the chicane here now, the final 3 turning points. We're starting to see them in our view. We're set up on the beach here. We're looking out on the water. So those boats, those top 3 boats are just coming into our view now.
Yeah, we have one of the most amazing commentary positions I've ever commentated from, actually. It's right on the beach, right next to the finish line. Couldn't be closer to the action. And you could almost, well, you can hear the athletes and their breathing as they run off. These athletes will beach and then run off to the finish line, a bit like beach sprints, which don't start until tomorrow. But there's our race leaders, round the buoy. Well, I'd say that's a pretty efficient turn. I was going to say maybe they could have gone round a little quicker, but hey, you know.
Potentially, but I think they have a nice lead. But I would say that the Spanish and Netherlands, you know, they've kind of closed the gap a little bit on that 2K leg, and so not so much of a gap. Wasn't a great turn there by second place.
No, and Nakarainen and Karpinen, they're now down, I reckon, to about 30 strokes a minute. Their rating has dropped significantly. They're not trucking like they were in those first 2 or 3K.
You know, they have still races to go this weekend. They're in the beach sprints as well. You know, when you have this much of a lead, I think it's just about holding on. They're 24 minutes into a race here now, so it's just about holding on and just trying to stay where they are.
Big turn on the chicane.
Yes, indeed. So they're coming in. That was the second of 3 chicane markers. And they'll have 1 more to go before that final run into the beach.
Yeah, we can see them ahead of us and very close. So.
Yeah, so we're seeing the crews now coming in towards the final markers here now. This is the final turn for Finland 01.
So if the Netherlands first crew, Veldhuis and Kaiser, they're 6 seconds behind Spain 01 in bronze medal position, and so that's going to be all on the final turn and the beach sprint running.
It will indeed. Now, what we were seeing yesterday, there was a big push down the course for these rowers after they came around that last turning point, but today there doesn't seem to be that much of a push. And look at this from Finland. They're coming right up into the center of the beach. They have their bow angled perfectly in for that run.
It'd be great to have a look. I think Spain 01 in bronze medal position are still pretty comfortable in front of Netherlands 01. But it is Netherlands 02 in silver medal position at the moment, Spain in bronze medal. And, well, Kaiser and Veltus desperately trying to get around that boy. Not sure. Is it the Austrians in 4th place back there?
I think they had actually slipped back to 5th position, going
Okay.
by those last graphics. So yeah, quite a few changes on that big 2K leg. But here come Finland 01. We're going to see a big exit and sprint here from Joel. Here he comes.
Oh, hands in the air. Fantastic. What a racer.
Costa mixed double sculls
Big
champions.
applause. Big applause. Hey. And he needs to go and sign in. And we might even get a little interview there. So, Netherlands 02. Will it be jumping out of the boat? It'll be Sonja Hospers. No, it's actually Sjord Schepper, the bowman.
Yes, and now 3rd position here it is the Spanish crew, Spain 01.
Ah, that's a decent sprint up there from the first Spanish crew. Ivan Reynoso Carillo.
Oh, bit of carnage here on the exits, all boats coming in on top of each other.
Oh.
We've Netherlands 01. Oh!
Yeah, and here comes Amos Kaiser for the Netherlands, and a massive sprint from Spain 2 to try and catch him. He thought he could catch him there, Salvador Diaz Moreno.
So another one, we've Finland 02 coming in. Again, all the boats are having to be taken out of the water very quick.
So I think that is Suchek from Poland.
Austria.
From Austria, thank you. So that was the Austrians that finished up, Yuri Suchek. And there's Finland 02 just finishing, so Jukka-Pekka Pelpi.
We have Jerry Owen here of Great Britain 01.
He looks absolutely done in, Jerry, doesn't he? Sculling in that race with Lara Britton, the Loughborough University graduate. Both of those athletes 24. So here's another athlete from Poland, Marta Pluta, sculling with Kaitan Szeszwick.
And we had Tom Mitchell there from Great Britain. He's Great Britain 02 with Hanson Marshall.
Who's still coming into the beach, as I'm sure you can see there from the pictures that we're giving you. Looks like a crew from Germany, I want to say. Looks like the Hein brother and sister combination. And jumping out of the boat, that would be Malte Hein, the 34-year-old triathlete, I am guessing. Yes, it is, and he's rowing with his sister, comes from Elmshorn, the 37-year-old Karina Hein. Lovely to see these combinations. We saw mother-daughter yesterday, brother and sister today in the mixed doubles.
Yes, I believe they inspired their mom to start rowing at 63 years young.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, we saw in the Olympics husband and wife combinations in the mixed eights taking the gold medal from the Romanians. And we've got partners here. I think one of the Romanians here is who rowed in the single scull, Chiruta, is racing with his partner. That is a fantastic sprint from the Slovakian athlete. That is Naomi Mezerova, the 27-year-old. Found success as an indoor rower, Naomi. And that was a fearsome sprint, wasn't it, to the beach?
Incredible sprint, yeah. And a lot of athletes do actually, you know, they put a lot of work into getting that sprint right as well. It looks like we have Poland here. That would be Poland 02. Both of them sprinting here. We love to see this.
Leaving the boats to the handlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's Hubert Guzzi and Alessandra Sagan. She's from Poznan Rowing Club, and Hubert from Gdansk University.
That's a sprint.
And the Latvian athlete there, that was Artura Fidovos, just 18 years of age, 2025 World Indoor Rowing Champion in his category. I think on the sliders, actually. So I'm looking to see if there are any boats out on the course, and I'm struggling to see another boat. Have we had all our finishers in that 6K event?
I think we may have. I can't see any more out on the water right now. So I think that concludes our custom mixed doubles sculls, the first 6K final of the day. That Finlando 1 crew very strong throughout the whole thing. From the very first stroke, they led it pretty much all the way around the whole course.
So you can see the boat handlers there getting the boats quickly out of the water. Our next event
Türkiye, Kocaeli Smash Portrait, and this is also Australia, Quadruple Club. And afternoon, 3 Türkiye clubs, 16 Characteristic Squad, 17 Collaborative Squad, and 18 Characteristic Straight Red Cano. Three very good clubs and best regulars from us. And I'm gonna see which one will be more successful of the game. Okay?
Sorry.
Isto, grazie, ci tako nesna čelistica, beži, prepišnice poslednji, upaj super.
A neke zadovoljne bolje, a što je opet super i ovo vidiš neko super bolje.
the morning racing. We are moving on to one of the club finals now. So this time it's going to be the club coastal men's solo final A. So these rowers went through the heats yesterday morning. We then had the final B yesterday afternoon. And here we have the top 18 club coastal men's solos in Europe.
Yeah, Kuzi Korsal in that green boat there from the Kanakkale Club up by the sort of north of Turkey, the Dardanelles Straits, near the city of Troy. They were flying over boat number 112, I think. Do we have 112? We don't, actually. I must have misread the number for that boat. Yeah, we're kind of peering at the screen, trying to tell the numbers there. 124, that's is Koroglu, the lightweight sculler from the Fenerbahce club, got a gold medal in the under-23s. I mean, there's some fantastic athletes in this event. Simone Martini from the Italian squads, great sculler in his day, now in coastal. Rojas Anzar from Sevilla, Spain. Look out for him. He is in boat number, I kind of want to say 127, and he was pretty good in the heats yesterday. Chris Back, what boat number's Chris Back? Because he's like the world beach sprint champion.
120.
And he can't race beach sprints here because, as you will have spotted, this is a European Championships, and he's from the USA. But I'm going to ask Neve, what is an American doing in the European Beach Sprint Championships?
Yeah, so every year we usually would have the World Rowing Coastal Championships. We don't this year, so there's just a European endurance event. So they opened up entries to non-European clubs this year, and it was taken up by a couple of US crews. They had been training in Europe anyway in the lead up to the World Beach Sprints, and so they made their way to Antalya here in Turkey a few weeks early, and so we have a few of their athletes racing here.
It's like, if you're in Europe, think Eurovision Song Contest and Australia, there's still a minute to the start yet, so one of those boats went a little bit too early. And if you don't know about the Eurovision Song Contest, why not? You should. But essentially they allow Australia in it, which is like the weirdest thing. I just have no idea why they do that, but they do. So anyway, USA are in these club events. They can't race in the National Federation events, so they can race in the club events, which is a pretty decent solution. There is 30 seconds to go to the start, and they will hear a hooter. We can see the red ball that drops.
Yeah, so I think one of the Irish athletes there maybe kind of were about to time it wrong, and if this Turkish rower that's closest to us here in the yellow Kangua as well, he's having to back up because they're really playing it. They're taking that risk there by being so close to that start line.
You said Kangua. Are they racing all in the same boats?
No, they're all very different, and
Who's in that red boat? He's just trucking off there. We can't quite see his number. That is crazy. Does he know there's 6 kilometres of this race to go?
Again, similar to like the last race, there's really, within this endurance race, there's two races. There's the race to the first turning point, and then there's the second part of the race. So it's about blasting out as fast as you can.
Yeah, so Rojas Anzar in the pink boat there, 127. He's kind of in second or third place. So that's boat number 133.
Garibaldi of Italy 01.
Garibaldi comes from a famous family. Garibaldi unified Italy in the 19th century, and will this Garibaldi break apart the coastal sculling field? I hesitate. I don't think he'll be in front at the finish, but it's a very brave start.
I think we saw the same in the heats yesterday. He blasted off at the start and had a really good kind of first half of the race. But yes, for some athletes, if they have the training done, it is sustainable. For others, not so much.
He's had a lot of injuries to cope with, this lad's 30 years of age. I just love the way he started, full of joie de vivre. He's looking across there for the marker boy because he's gone so hard. He doesn't know where he's going. But they set a mark, don't they? They're looking at a mark on the coast behind them, I guess.
They are, yeah. You will be able to see the yellow triangle, that turning point, for sure. Particularly as you're starting to go down. It is a 1K leg, so it is kind of hard to see right from the start line, but they'll start to see it.
So, yeah, go for it. Rojas Anzar is kind of like catching up Garibaldi in that pink boat. The man from Sevilla, obviously row on the Guadalajara River there, but, you know, I'm sure he does beach training. They can go down to Cadiz. It's just a short train ride down from Sevilla to the ocean there. Lovely harbour in Cadiz. I don't know if they do rowing there, but the Spanish also train in Alicante, don't they?
They do, yeah. A lot of places to train there, a lot of coastline. There in the middle of the left-hand side of the screen, that is Chris Buck, as we mentioned, from Next Level Rowing, with that white baseball cap. So he's pretty easy to spot. So the drone is over him there now. So he's really starting to move now. And we're seeing that very familiar style of rowing that we saw yesterday, those big long lie backs here, which suits this kind of sideways conditions that they're having to deal with.
Yeah, so here's an obvious question. What makes Chris Back so good, considering he's won so many world titles?
It's the training, you know, he's part of the next level training, that next level rowing. And they've a really cool kind of holistic style to their training. It's not just about getting them as fit and strong as possible, but it's like physically, but also mentally. Very much about staying in the present moment, staying aware of what's happening and adapting to conditions. So like you'll see Chris looking around an awful lot, but it serves him well because he knows exactly what he's doing at every moment.
Sounds like we could all do with some of that training.
Absolutely, we could.
Yeah, so he's got this, I want to say Spanish coach, formerly in Spain. He lives now in America, Mark Orio, that I had the privilege of chatting with a couple of days ago, who basically runs the Next Level Rowing program. And this lad, I think he's based in Cincinnati. Chris Back started rowing back in 2012 as a lightweight, and he's found his métier in coastal and beach sprint, hasn't he?
He certainly has, and I know like he'll have the Olympics in his sight. He's the reigning world champion in beach sprints. We won't see him obviously beach sprinting this weekend, but we will in a few weeks' time at the World Championship. So he's now leading this one out in the club coastal men's solo. Then in second position, after pushing himself up there, it is Rojas of Spain 04. He was first last year at the Europeans in the mixed double, so he's after making his way into the solo boat, and now Garibaldi is after being pushed down to third.
Yeah, and so how much does Chris Back want to win this? I think an enormous amount. Tell us how frustrated he was crossing the finish line yesterday in the heat.
Yeah, so he had an incredibly dominating heat, really, and just led it from pretty early on and had a lovely lead. But what we were seeing yesterday was that final approach to the beach is about 300 meters. There was a big sideways kind of wind and swell, and they were sweeping down those boats. Oh, we're seeing a little bit of a tangle here. We have John Barry of Kilmac Simon representing Ireland, one of the Spanish rowers as well.
Yeah, and I think that might have been Justin Stevens, possibly, of Next Level. No, it wasn't. It was Ferreira Marin from Malaga, another Spanish rower. And that's a very sedate turn from that boat. I think that's the final boat on the course. So we're going to fly over the whole fleet relatively close together. But...
yeah, things starting to separate out now. So they were the first two turning points. So this is the first of the big long legs. It's 1,800 meters. So you can see those leading boats now starting to open up that clear water. So yeah, you were saying he was frustrated. Yeah, it was just that there was a bit of a sweep down the course yesterday, and so he had a bit of an extra long run to do. We're seeing another couple of boats coming up on top of each other, but basically he ended up finishing. He didn't have the greatest finish, we'll say. And
so another Spanish boat, Marcos Salas Cordoba, boat number 111, with his cap set back. One of the Spanish boats, the 21-year-olds. Spain really doing so well here.
Now, this is pretty incredible. This is looking like it is one of the Irish scullers.
Yeah, it's Barcelona. That's Marc Francois Montfort, boat 110. I'm thinking, yeah, and then we've got boat 133. You can take a note of these numbers if you want at home. That's Garibaldi. Still up there, but going a little bit backwards. And boat 119, that is an Italian boat, Simeone. He's a great sculler, Simeone. Looks a little bit short forward there, I want to say. compared to the sculler next to him in boat 127, who's a little bit longer, but it's those short, jabby strokes that he's using. That's Rojas Anzar. So he's going by Rojas Anzar like he wasn't there.
Exactly, those short strokes, the very short catch, that's actually really suiting that condition that they're with the swell here now. So he's using that to his advantage.
Yeah,
here.
I wouldn't have said that. Where's Chris Back? So what's Chris Back doing? He's like way out in front of this race, isn't he?
Must be. He
Unless
must
he's
have
dropped
that much of a
back.
lead.
And so we think that the American has put a decent, healthy margin between him and the rest of the field. And the trailing fleet, I guess we're getting from our drone a sort of Chris Back view of his opposition.
Exactly, this is what he is looking back on. It's a nice view to have.
So Rojas Anzar's decided he wants to re-overtake Martini. Rojas Anzar is in the pink boat on the right of the screen. Martini, the Italian. Both of these have raced in flat water rowing with great distinction. And I'm fascinated to see who that is behind Rojas Anzar, who's tracking him in that kind of blue rowing suit with the white top. He keeps looking over.
Franque, I think, was it?
Okay. So that's another Spanish sculler. Marc Montfort Freque.
Oh, look at this now, the big lie back here.
Oh, right, in that swell. I love the fact. So these, we are going towards the east, basically, which is, yeah, this long leg, and it's with the swell. So how will they feel going with the swell as opposed... What's the feeling you get going with the swell as opposed to going against it? Is it the same or different?
No, totally different. So it's like you're surfing, basically. So the speed increases. You can see, like, the fight here between these two boats. It's basically because of what's happening with the waves. So, yeah, they're trying to use that swell to their advantage.
And that's
here.
Chris Back out there. No, is it Chris Back? Boat 110. No, it's not. It's Franque Montfort. So he's just behind Rojas Anzar, and then the Spanish are doing
here.
so well, aren't they?
Yeah. They are, yeah. They're incredible coastal rowers. You know, a lot of them coming from that big traditional style of coastal rowing. We were talking about it yesterday, where you've something like 20 rowers in the boat. They're used to huge waves. So, yeah, this is Marcos Salas Cordoba, third last year. He was in the men's quad at the European Championships. He was second the year before that at the Europeans in the men's double. So in the solo now this year. But yeah, look, we're seeing the lead here now. So there's Chris. We're seeing him big lead still, holding on to that.
Yeah, headed for that turning buoy. Is it a red turning buoy that Chris Back's heading for?
Yeah.
Why is it red?
Because it was added this morning.
Okay, right.
To go from 4K to 6K. They added two big red turning points. So, yeah, Chris here.
It's a nice, easy stroke, isn't it? I mean, he almost doesn't look like he's racing. He's just sort of in the groove, in the rhythm. Got that long layback you were talking about.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be as long as it was yesterday. But, again, it's with the conditions. He's adapting to what's here. The big thing with these rowers, the next level rowing athletes, is all about staying relaxed and loose and rubbery.
Yes, which is kind of being in the moment. And,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, that's where you get great sculling. And, you know, certainly the fantastic sculling coaches that I've known through the years have worked on that style. Harry Mahon, the New Zealander, was a great coach who was very much in the moment and used to reflect that in his coaching, as does Marc Oriot, Chris Back's coach.
So he'll be starting to approach that turning point now before he heads back in towards the beach. But look at the lead he has here across the rest of the field. You know, he's really using this little bit of a swell that's going on. You can see just upping the rate slightly so that he can try and match the speed, and that's how the wave will that swell will catch the boat and propel him. And just, you know, he's getting free speed here by using these waves and learning how to actually surf them, because the boat won't surf unless you... Look, he's stopping rowing to scratch his nose, it looked like.
Well, he did that yesterday. He stopped rowing to wave to us in the drone camera. I don't suppose he's going to wave. Well, he can't wave to the drone, but don't be surprised. He's a showman, Chris Back. I love that. You know, why would your nose be itchy in the middle of a 6K race? In fact, you're aching so much from your legs, you know, and, you know, your lower back. So rowing is, if you're tuning into this World Rowing, we're with the 2025 European Coastal and Beach Sprint Championships. This is the coastal endurance event. And rowing is a pushing sport. It's, you know, a lot of people do the rowing action and pull their arms in, but the arms, you can see from Chris back there, he's leaving his arms straight and he's pushing really effectively with his legs. And obviously, with that level of, you know, I guess discomfort or pain, you wonder why he would want to scratch his nose, but maybe we can ask him.
It comes back to being in the present moment. You're going to be aware of everything that's happening.
I love
if
that.
You stay present.
Yeah, I love that. There's, yeah, Zen from our great commentator here, Neve Hayes.
Yeah,
It does almost look Zen-like on that. I mean, you know, if you pull out from the drone, yeah, you can see the swell, but it almost looks like he's on flat water and heading towards the mountains. And it's beautiful. There's that red turning buoy.
Yeah, he's starting to approach it now. So he has his absolute choice as to what he does around here. Does he go tight and back and concentrate on accelerating again, or does he just row around it? It's completely up to him now. He has full control of this race. So just, yeah, a little bit harder on his left leg here to get around this turning point. And now it's going to be side on for him. So we might see a little bit of that ferry gliding that we spoke about yesterday, whereby he'll point his bow back towards us here on the beach a little bit so that he's not pushed too far off that course.
Yeah, so in fact, you can't steer directly to where you want to go because the wind or the swell will be pushing you away. So you kind of have to overcorrect, and then by the time you get to the next buoy, you'll be in the right position, and that's just judgment, isn't it, and skill.
Judgment, feel, it's very much about feeling and looking around and having a little pointer on, you know, look at those resort hotels or a slide on the beach and pick where you want to go, and you have to keep looking around to make sure that you're on point. I used to be a cox in traditional coastal rowing, and I felt like when I went into the solo rowing, that really helped me, having that skill of like being able to feel when the boat was moving off course. So that really helped. But he's definitely not doing as much looking around as he did yesterday.
No, he kind of stopped to look around, didn't he? Maybe he's just aware of the competitors. So we're seeing the other athletes there. We've got a frozen picture, obviously.
I do think one of those is a Kilmac Simon rower. We have two of them, John Barry and Aidan Crowley, representing Ireland. Kilmac Simon in Cork, you were asking me about them yesterday. So that's one of their rowers just going through these pictures.
Yeah,
I'm wondering what's happening back the field.
Yeah. So you can see that is the boat there, 108, I kind of want to say.
109, that is Aidan Crowley of Kilmac Simon.
Oh, you were absolutely on point there.
It's the red gave it away for me. So yeah, he did incredible yesterday. I was chatting to his dad there just before we started racing. I was chatting to John Barry's dad, who is a member of Kilmac Simon, and John is in this race as well. Aidan Crowley is here, his mom is here as well. But these are really young athletes who have really taken to this coastal sculling, and the club are just so proud of them. Both of them came third in their respective heats yesterday, and you know, it's just brilliant to see them up at this standard.
These are training crews, so I guess there might be an issue with, I'm guessing, with internet and bandwidth, which is how we're bringing you these broadcast signals, which I'm sure our fantastic team based in Poland, headed by Adrian, will be working to resolve. But at the moment, the leader of the race is Chris Back from Next Level Rowing from the USA. And they're kind of about halfway through the race.
They are pretty much, yeah, so they're coming down. Most of them will be on that 600-metre leg, which is coming straight into shore, so it's coming perpendicular to the beach, we'll say. Then they'll go around the next red turning point, and then they have a big 2K leg to go, which is mentally, that's a tough one, knowing that that's coming up ahead of you.
Yeah, I love watching that with the sort of the mixed double sculls. We saw Nakarainen and Karpinen just go their bows into the course.
So we're getting some information there. So Chris back leading this one out 30 seconds, 32 seconds behind him. Franque of Spain, who was second last year. Then it is Rojas of Spain 04 then in that third position. That was around the 3,500, so that's over halfway.
Yeah, we thought Rojas would be figuring in the fight for the podium. And two Spanish up there. Again, Spain been doing incredibly well. I think they got a bronze medal in the mixed coastals. So Finland won that, the Netherlands was silver, and Spain were second. So this will be a different medalist like USA, it's looking like, but Spain right up there.
So our drone is back. We're getting lovely shots here now as they come back to follow the boats here.
Scenic shots. I mean, the sun glinting on the water. In front of us, there's, you know, it's incredibly bluey turquoise. We've got the golden sand of the beach, the Finnish cameras, the grandstands surrounding us. It'll be absolutely packed for the beach sprints.
Yeah, so we're seeing how much of a lead here now. I think we're seeing Chris back there in that lead. Again, it was 30 seconds at that last timing point that we had. So you had over 30 seconds of a lead. Then we have the fight between, it looks like, Rojas and Franque of both of Spain.
Yeah, and is that another Spanish athlete behind Rojas? You can see Rojas because he's got a pink boat, which is really easy to spot. And you can see the trailing boats. Who's in those trailing boats? Are they safety or umpires or what?
Both, yeah. So you have safety just in case, you know, if there's any collisions or any capsizes. But then we also have the members of the jury who are out there making sure that, you know, everything is, all the rules are followed, basically. So yeah, we do have quite a few boats out there following the racing.
Yeah, the gap you can see. Our drone must be pretty high to get those shots. We know that's Chris back. We know that's two Spanish athletes. Rojas, who's the second athlete? I missed that.
Franque and Rojas were those two Spanish.
Yeah, that's a great shout. So, two Spanish athletes. Barcelona and Sevilla.
And we're still waiting just for confirmation on who's in that kind of fourth, fifth position, because there's still there's a chance there that silver and medal and bronze medal is very much up for decision. At this point in the race, you know, they're coming in towards, we'll say, the last quarter.
Do you know, I've seen Rojas Anzar like sprint really effectively for the finish. I remember, I think it was the European Championships back in Sevilla, and he was stroking the lightweight four. I think it was a semi-final. It was such a tight race, and he stroked that four to perfection and just got into the A final, which was a great result for them. So I don't know what the Barcelona guy, Franque Montfort, is like in terms of sprinting. But at this moment, I'd back Rojas Anzar to take the silver medal. Let's see how that plays out.
Yeah, Rojas won that gold medal in the mixed last year at the Europeans. Franque was second in the Europeans in the solo, sixth at the World Coastals. So well used to, they did have that beach finish and that run last year in Gdansk as well. But it was a water finish at the Worlds in Genoa.
Yeah, and Mark Orio, the next level rowing coach, has taken his guys out here to get a feel of the water. And so Chris Back doesn't seem to need a feel of the water. He's just out there and doing the business. Yeah,
you know, he's here really for the beach sprints in 3 weeks' time. But like, and you'd imagine, like, you know, it's 500 meters of a row in the beach sprints. Do you really need to feel the water? But you absolutely do. Like, they are just, the US athletes are nailing the beach sprints, and it's getting used to being at the venue, getting to know what's around them, just getting a feel for everything. The sand, the water, they're just on point with every little detail. So I know they've been training near Beach Sprint Academy in Spain the last few weeks, and again, they've been getting a lot of rough water training there.
Down in Alicante.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or just outside Alicante.
That's on the Mediterranean coast, right? I'm guessing.
Are you a geography teacher?
No, history. Actually. Yeah. But I'm guessing it sounds like the sort of place that would be on the Mediterranean. I'm very sorry if it's in the north of Spain, but yeah, Alicante. Chris Back has been training down there, and USA 01.
So we're 21 minutes into this 6-kilometer race. They're still on that big, long 2,000-meter leg, but they'll shortly be coming in towards that chicane area and the beach sprint, that beach finish as well. So we have some exciting finishes to come up here. But yeah, he's really keeping it steady. Again, not as much of a lie back as yesterday. I don't think he's an athlete who goes out and changes his style of rowing depending on what conditions he's up against. Here on this sideways, like on this leg, as they're kind of parallel to the shore, they are going into that swell, into a little bit of wind as well. It's not too crazy here today. So again, it's just about keeping blades clean. Your hands are going to be at different heights. The blades are going to be different heights. So it's just about just being patient at that catch, feeling the water on the blades, and then once you make that connection, even if your hands are completely different heights, it's then is when you bring that leg drive in. But we're seeing coming into our view here, that was Rojas in that pink boat of Spain 04.
Yeah, I just gave him the silver medal, didn't I, about 5 minutes ago?
Did.
Was that wrong?
Currently in bronze.
Yeah. He looks to be sculling well, actually, this lad.
This is Franquet.
That's Franquet. I must say he's got a nice forward length, easy glide, and certainly a little sort of powerful stroke, the 35-year-old.
Yeah, this style is suiting these conditions on this leg. Like, he's really put himself in a great position here now, because he wasn't in that kind of those top 2 spots. And I'm wondering what's happened to Garibaldi, who had that massive big start and led it out to the first turning point until Chris took it from him.
Yeah, we'll see when he runs past us at the finish. So there's Rojas Anzar, so he really is going to have the sprint. So Franquet has pulled out. This lad, he rode back in the day in flat water in the junior men's pair at the Junior World Championships a long while ago, obviously.
Go back to Chris Bach here.
Yeah, that's
leading
a line.
this one out. So they're actually starting to come into our view here now. There's where we are set up. We're right next to the finish line, and we have 2 big grandstands either side of us. So we don't have a full open view of the ocean, but they've just come past the grandstand now and starting to come into our view here as they head towards that chicane area. So he's probably another couple of 100 meters to go for the first of those 3 chicane markers. So he's doing a lot of looking around now just to make sure he's lined up perfectly. There'll be 3 turns coming up quickly in succession.
So how usual is it you get the medalists spread out like this? Because we had them spread out in the mixed coastals, our first event of the day. It's club, individual, coastal singles. They're pretty spread out again. Is that what you normally see in these events?
We would, because like Chris is a full-time athlete. This is what he does. Whereas a lot of the club rowers, it's a hobby, and they're working and they have families, and as in working outside, and then they're rowing in their spare time. Hence why then we're seeing a big spread across the rowers, because some are full-time rowers, some are not.
Yeah, that's a great shout. So life as a coastal rower must be pretty great, actually.
I would love that, yes.
On the beach the whole time. I mean, life as a coastal rowing commentator is not too bad. Certainly not
You're
full-time.
sold on it.
Yeah, definitely. So he's looking for that yellow buoy, which I guess he's got to go round, and likes to miss the buoys, Chris Bach. He doesn't like to hit them.
Yeah, he doesn't want to slow himself down for no reason. You could easily get your blade caught. I've seen it many times get caught even under those turning markers, and you don't want to do that. He has such a big lead built up that you don't want to start losing that now. So he's around that first one, and second position here, just coming into on the screen here now. It's still Franquet of Spain 02 of Barcelona. So he's still solidly in that second position after opening up a big gap ahead of, we're thinking it's Rojas still in that 3rd position.
Yeah, he's much more tight. He's hit the sort of buoy, which might mean you could catch a little crab. Where is Rojas? So Rojas, no, he's not really close enough to make that fearsome sprint work out. But he's in bronze medal position, so Spain look like they're on target for silver and bronze of some sort. Just a note, I don't know if I've been telling you that Chris Back lives on the coast, but actually he's based in the States, in Cincinnati, which you will know is in Ohio. And that is where Mark Orio, his coach, is a professor at Cincinnati University. And I'm reminded of a very famous film with Steve McQueen called, I think it was Steve McQueen, Cincinnati Kid. You ever see that movie?
I did not, Martin.
Okay, let's talk about the rowing, shall we?
So that was for the position. Like, there's a big gap here between third, fourth, fifth. It's pretty phenomenal at this stage of the race. So here we have Italy 01.
Well, that's Garibaldi. That's our fast starter who's still up there. Yeah, we were saying he's going to be right at the back of the fields.
Yeah, he's still up there, I think, in fifth position. But Chris Back on his final approach to the beach now, 300 metres. He has about 150 to go here now, and then he'll have his final, he'll have his exit and sprint up the beach. I'm sure he'll put on a show for all the photographers who are waiting for him here. But here he comes. There's a little bit of a push, and again, I was saying it yesterday, like when you are on that final approach to the beach, it's quite disorienting when you see so many people. There's a lot going on because there's beach sprint training going on. So he's actually going down quite a bit to the left of the finish line here now. I'm sure Mark and all his boat handlers and team will be there kind of guiding him in. So he is starting to angle the bow in now a little bit more towards
He doesn't want to go sideways, does he? He's
No,
got,
absolutely
yeah, that's
not.
it.
That is not where you want to be. So yeah, he's timing this beautifully, and we'll see it in the beach sprints over the next few days as well, or in the next
Just
few weeks.
drifts in. I mean, that must be something that you can't do in beach sprint, just drift in.
No. And he even had time to make sure the boat was okay. He looked around.
Did he stop his watch, his watch even, when he got out?
So here he is. Not a big, massive sprint,
No.
because he knows he has it. He's looking happy.
European Club Coastal Champion.
Yeah, from USA.
Wow.
Chris Back.
Well, next
Now.
level rowing, yeah.
Yes,
we'll say next level rowing at the European. So this is Francois coming in, Marc Francois Monfort, 35-year-old former flatwater rower from Barcelona.
Yeah, lovely straight line in from that final turning point. They're kind of,
He kind of fell in there, didn't he?
Yeah.
I really like that multicoloured boat. The handler's got it straight out. And Chris Back sportingly applauding. He's got a silver medal. He's got to love that.
Nice big hug there between the two athletes. And here we have Rojas in that third position.
Yeah, I actually spent a little bit of time with his dad, who used to come and watch him ride. I'm not sure his dad's here now, but Patricio Rojas Anzar.
Yeah, so he's looking very happy in that third position.
He is massively big embrace there.
That's part of it, Martin. You see, you have to have a big finish for because they make for great photographs. So I think it's Garibaldi of Italy coming in that fourth position. So this is our Garibaldi, who had the cracker of a start. Oh, it's Martini of Italy. So Simone Martini of Italy. Italy 04.
Yeah, he had a great stroke, Martini. I thought he did ever so well. The former Italian international sculler.
And here's Garibaldi now.
Ospedaliere di Treviso.
So Garibaldi,
Yeah,
Italy 01.
this lad did ever so well. From Santo Stefano al Mare. That is his club. He's represented proudly with those blue and white colours.
Salas of Spain in next. Big run from him. Oh, we've run Justin Stevens of Next Level Rowing.
Yeah,
He's still on the water.
Well, that's one of the scholars from France, Aviron Saint-Noir, Sam de Bussac, 18 years of age. And they are sat down here.
And we have Serbia had just crossed that finish line as
Patricio.
well. Martin is talking to the athletes here as they pass us. We have a Turkish scholar.
I think that is the young Turkish scholar Kuroglu from the Fenerbahce club in that traditional yellow and blue.
And then Ferrer of Spain 03, Malaga. And here is Aidan Crowley, Kilmac Simon, Ireland. Great position to be finishing in.
They're all waiting for each other, really, aren't they? And here's a great run, too, from the Italian sculler. I want to say that's Giovanni Claverino, the 39-year-old. And a diminutive sculler from Turkey. That is Efe Subasi. He's 20 years of age, across the finish line.
We have John Barry now of Kilmac Simon just making his approach to the beach. Making his way up. There's a lot of people standing around that he's having to go around, but well done there as well, representing Kilmac Simon, who had two scullers here, John Barry and Aidan Crowley. Well done to them.
Yeah, takes his one piece off. That's a nice tattoo he's got there. Well, I wonder what that is. We must ask him.
You were interested about in the tattoos yesterday, weren't you?
I know, love that.
Yeah, now we have another Turkish sculler.
So this is Bandi Kayak, 35-year-old from Pedakurek Sport Club. Not a full-time athlete, I'm guessing. This guy is Stevens. So will he be a bit frustrated he wasn't higher up, Justin Stevens, from Next Level Rowing?
Potentially. We saw him last year. He was at the World Coastals, but he's from Flatwater, you know, and he's new enough coming into the coastal, so I'm sure we'll see more from him over the coming years.
I tell you what, he's got some great shots of coastal rowing on his Instagram account. You know, boats right up in the air in the surf, really exciting photos.
Yeah.
So this guy is just gliding gently in to the beach. He's on the left-hand side of us. I guess it might be another sculler from Turkey. And I didn't catch who that was. Oh, it is Ruzgar Haskan from Amirspor Kublu. And he's just 15 years of age. But they let 15-year-olds, he's not in the juniors, where there are junior beach sprint competition. He might be in the juniors, actually. So he's here not just in maybe beach sprint, but also in coastal.
Yeah, we'll see some junior categories now over the next 2 days in the beach sprints, but they're all in the open here in the endurance. So we have another Turkish sculler here.
From the Kanakkale Club, and that's Kuzi Koksal, 16. So just a 15 and 16-year-old came in.
Yeah, pretty incredible, isn't it?
And I think that might be our last competitor. I'm just trying to look out and can't see any coastal singles, club coastal singles on the water.
Yeah, I think that kind of rounds out our Club Coastal men's solo. 18 competitors, great racing there. So we'll be moving on shortly. The Club Coastal women's coxed quadruple sculls finally. We had heats yesterday. We had the B final yesterday afternoon, just 2 boats in that, and here we have the top 18. Odds and lots of experience and lots of pedigree out in the water as they get going. They'll be going at 10:20 local time, so just under 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, so we're going to take a short break and be back with you in 2 minutes.
clear time as we're going to start soon, okay?
So it's about 3 minutes to the start of the Club Coastal Women's Cox Quadruple Sculls. And these guys raced yesterday in heats to qualify for this A final. There are 18 boats in the A final. And start is probably about 3 minutes away. We can see them all lined up in front of us, so about 150, 200 meters away on the sea.
Yeah, we heard the three hooters there just about 30 seconds ago. That signal that there's 3 minutes to go to the start. So 18 quads tried to line up here across a 100-meter spread. And what we're noticing earlier on as we were looking at the beach, they were all kind of lining up over the right-hand side, whereas they're bunched more to the left-hand side this time. Of course, these boats have coxes, so the coxes want to navigate as straight a line as they can. So it's interesting to see some boats are kind of staying out of trouble and danger and staying to the right-hand side where there's loads of space. But there's going to be a lot of carnage here on the left-hand side if they don't start to spread out. Now, they still have like 2 minutes to go.
They're tight. I'm looking through the binoculars. There's one crew right next to that yellow buoy.
Yeah.
On the start line on the left-hand side that's so tight, and they're so close to the start line.
And what will happen is they'll be pushed outside it, so they're going to have to go back around and just add distance. So, you know, sometimes you're just better off getting somewhere where there's space and just taking up that rate and getting out of there as fast as you can. You know, there's advantages. There's advantages, you know, whether if you have space or if you're in like the best line. But right now, over on the left-hand side, there's about 4 quads right on top of each other, if not 5.
The crews from Turkey, the Netherlands, Britain, Spain, we've seen them do so well. Ireland, the Czechia, I was going to say the Czech Republic, but it's Czechia, isn't it? Germany. So they are the European nations competing in this Club Coastal Championship, Cox Quadruple Scull.
Here's our start list now. We've seen these through the heats yesterday. There was some great racing happening. I'll be looking out for some of the Spanish crew, Spain 01, the 2 Irish quads, Ireland 01, Ireland 03. They did really well through the heats as well. I'll be giving a shout out to my own club as well, Ireland 02, as they go around.
I hope so. I will hold you to account if you don't say anything. So there seems to be a nice spread between the crews. There's about 30 seconds to the start. In fact, one crew went off early there. I don't know who that was.
Yeah, but if we're not seeing them on the drones, but I'm seeing them with my eye, there was about 4 quads there that were right behind the line on top of each other and are only crossing that start line now. But yeah, some nice spread here as they head out this 1,000-meter course.
This is one of the favourites, boat 411 from Sevilla, and Spain won. And 411 seem to have their bows in front, and we'll talk about that crew as they go down the course. But decent start from them. early lead.
Yeah, it's important to note there's also Masters crews for the first time this year. We have 6 Masters crews. So while they're in the Open category, we'll actually have separate medals and separate rankings for both the Open and the Masters. So this Spanish, the Spanish O3, they were strong yesterday. They're a Masters crew. We have Great Britain. We have some Turkish crews, Czechia and Great Britain O1 and O2. But yeah, that Spanish Spain 01 crew in 411, nice lead here.
Yeah, that's a Spanish crew from the Real Club Náutico Calpe with Tura, Otela, Marquez, Backley and Cox by Jimenez Lopez and Sergio Lopez. No, not Sergio Lopez, I must say, actually. Alba Lopez Jimenez, just 15 years of age. She's coxing that boat.
So we're looking at the leaders here. So 408, we have Spain 03 closest to us, Club at Nautico Altea. Then we have that crew you were talking about, Spain 01, Sevilla. They're nice early showing. And I
There's a couple of boys out there, they will sort of turn round to port side, stroke side, and go along the beach towards the east on that long leg.
Yeah, they're starting to open up the gap here. You know, we spoke about it earlier. Really, in these endurance races, there's 2 races. You know, they take up so much space. You don't want to be getting there in a crowd. You want to try and create as much space as you can. So these 2 Spanish boats here now really trying to put on a push and stay up at that high rate all the way up to that turning point. You can see they're actually starting to come towards each other. They're closing in. I'm sure like the coxes now know what they're doing. They have a lot of experience. A lot of them will have experience in these conditions. So they're trying to stay out of trouble. So you can see the red Swift here now actually just maneuvering inside to get an outside line. But they're going to have to be careful because they're coming in on top of the other crews here.
That is a maneuver and a half, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. So
and what they've done, they've actually pushed those 2 crews. I think that's one of the Irish crews there. We have 406, that's Ireland 01, so that's the composite of Kincasla, Ban and Lagin. They were very strong, so they're currently sitting in 3rd position there.
So there's our leaders from Sevilla. In that boat is the great director of the Colgan Foundation, Bibiana Fernandez de Castillo, worked in the NHS in the UK for about 15 years. She's won numerous medals in coastals, has competed with the New Zealand team because her and her husband Sean live in New Zealand. And she's racing here for Spain because obviously New Zealand is not part of Europe and didn't enter. But, you know, there are some fantastic guys in that. Natalia de Miguel, seasoned coastal rower, competing since 2018.
So we're here at the first turning point now. A little bit of carnage potentially going to happen. They're right up on top of each other here. That is Spain 01 gone around first. There's 3 crews. Oh, look at this. That is some super coxing to try and stay out of that trouble. 3 boats around. I think there's Ireland on the outside. They're just mistiming there just slightly. I'd say there was a slight clash of oars. So they're on the outside. That is Ireland 01. We have a Spanish crew there as well. Looks like Spain 03.
So Spain 01 have got to be looking back at that and smiling because they're out in front, which is why they put so much effort in early on. And just to say, they've got Olivia Del Castillo, the 22-year-old, who is currently rowing for Leander Club in Great Britain and is part of the Spanish national team. She didn't compete in the World Championships, but she did in the under-23s this year, just missed a medal. So no wonder the Spanish boat is powering away and likely favourites at this stage for the gold medal.
Absolutely, yeah. Spain 01 we saw leading that one out. It was Spain 02 in 2nd position. We had Ireland 01, Kincastle, Bannon, Lagin there in 3rd position. And then Ireland 03, Kilmac, Simon, Castown Bear and Wicklow. They're currently sitting in that 4th position. They were very strong in their heat as well yesterday. Some medalists from last year's European Championships. But yeah, there's a lot of boats going around that first marker.
Yeah, and they're just managing to keep themselves apart. It's quite dramatic, wasn't it? Those boats in second, third and fourth going around so close, and the Coxes trying to find space. And Spain 01 have pulled out now. So
Yeah, and it's actually looking like, I think, Ireland 01 now starting to move into second position. They're that yellow boat there. They, again, very strong in the heat yesterday. Niamh Dugan, Danica Maguire representing Kincasa. Them, along with Katie Shurlow, were fourth at the Worlds last year. So very strong rowers, and they're being joined by Alex Hutchinson this year, coxed by Amy McGivern, some super coxing from her yesterday. So they're, looks like they're after moving themselves into a lovely second position now.
yeah, and this Sevilla crew, again, I think the youngest member of the team, Amanda Gil Camacho, and she started rowing in Seville when she was, I think, 11 years of age. Yeah, just 11 years of age. She's now 20. And I think she might have been with Rojas Anzar that we saw recently when they won the coastal mixed doubles last year at the Worlds in Italy.
Right, here they are, close-up shot of them. Very quick on the recovery. Not a big lie back here. They're just keeping that rein up, as, you know, tipping through the water.
Yeah, and the Cox just looking at his watch there. Sergio Lopez Gomez, the 34-year-old, very experienced. And we did get a message from Sergio, actually, that his mum, Mary, is watching. And he said hi to his mum. I'm not sure if he's going to give us a wave. He's probably too focused. But if you're watching this, wherever in the world you're watching this World Rowing presentation, this is day 2 of the European 2025 European Coastal and Beach Sprint Championships. Watching Club Coastal Women's Cox Quadruple Sculls. And I'm marching across, and with me is Niamh Hayes.
Yeah, we're seeing the top 2 boats here now. So Spain 01 still holding on to that lead. It is Ireland 01 then looking like they're in that second position. So this yellow marker that we're seeing, that's just a bit of a visual aid to help them on their way, because they're on an 1800 meter leg now. They have the swell with them here. So yes, here we have Ireland. We have 410s. So that's Ireland 03 in 410. So it's 2 Irish boats in that top 3. Somebody was asking me yesterday, will there be an Irish crew on the podium? Could be. There might be 2 up there.
Wasn't me who was asking you. Who was that?
There was a few people at home who I was chatting to.
Ah, so they're sending you text messages. Yeah. Not that our commentary team is biased in any way, shape or form at all. There's the Spanish crew out in front. It's not an unassailable lead, but it's a very handy lead to have 8 minutes into a race, which I guess is going to be almost 30 minutes, like 20, 26, 27 minutes, maybe?
Yeah, they're actually quite fast races. It really depends on the conditions. Like sometimes you could be up at around 30 minutes for some of these races if it's very hard conditions, which we've seen over the years, whereas this will be in probably the early 20s, maybe 23, 24. But yeah, they're just like, look at the rate. They're keeping the rate high there in that Spanish quad and holding onto that lead. The 2 Irish crews, it looks like, are coming up right up alongside each other, Ireland 01 and Ireland 03. So Kincasa, Bannon, Lagan, and then Camac Simon, Castletown, Bear, Wicklow. So there's going to be a big battle on between the 2 of them. Peter Doyle in the Cox's seat for Ireland 03. This is the challenge now, is because the turning points are coming up, and if boats are right up alongside each other, you know, it's important to kind of stay out of danger, stay out of trouble.
Well, surely those 2 Irish boats, they'll say we're both from Irish clubs, so they'll give each other plenty of room. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So you get the real impression here, these great drone shots that we're seeing, how they're surfing the swell of these waves. And the Sevilla crew, Spain 01, doing that beautifully at the moment. They've kind of stopped taking distance on the crews behind them, I'd say.
Yeah. What's interesting about the swells here in the quads is that, like, obviously the Cox is looking forward, so it's actually the rowers that call, okay, there's a wave coming, let's go, and they'll start to up the flat water and coastal. Incredible rowers in this boat, as you've spoken about them already. So yeah, they're starting to approach that. We're going to see a red marker shortly. They'll be going around that. They'll be pulling harder on the left side as they head then towards the beach, and they'll be into a bit of a cross swell then again.
So Bibiana Kogan there in the two-seat. That's one up from the one to the left of the bows. Does a fantastic job with the Kogan Foundation. I think they're starting a great project, or have started in Sevilla, and that will be for young rowers to learn how to row and take up the sport of rowing, something very close to Bibi's heart. But of course the Kogan Foundation, they work with so many crews and different charitable causes around the world. They're really into supporting shark populations of the world, and surveys to tell where sharks are and how they're surviving. They worked of course with the Kiwi team for the Tokyo Olympics, the Australian team for the Paris Olympics, and Leander Club in the UK. So many causes which everyone in the rowing world is so grateful for.
Yes, and it's important to give a shout out to the cocks as well. Sergio Lopez Gomez, multiple medalists at the World Rowing Coastal Championships over the years, 2016, 17, 18, 19. So much experience, and when you are a cox in these conditions, when you have a lot of boats around you, you do, you know, the more experience you have, just like rowing, the better you're going to be. And you can see actually his hands coming off the steer, and he was actually giving them a little bit of a clap.
Yeah, they need that. That's really interesting. So rudders on from the man whose first World Championship coastal was back in 2011 in Bari, Italy. They are still trucking, aren't they? The rate's still quite high, and that's a fantastic pace that Amanda Gil Camacho has set. I'd say they're rated about 34, 35 strokes a minute, and maybe they're going to kind of be a little more conservative. But yeah, the crews behind them have not dropped away now on that last leg.
Yeah, they're staying with them, but there is a bit of separation now between second and third position here. Looks like the two Irish crews again starting to separate out. They were right up alongside each other, but that was good because it meant there was no collisions there at that. I think this is one of the GB crews that maybe you were talking to the other day as well.
Yeah, 402, actually, that was the German crew. I just saw them go around. They went pretty wide round there. So the GB crew that we saw, Coastal Rowing Academy, Joe Price, Ruin Atkins, Sophie Bostock, who's doing the Atlantic row. Just thought I'd throw that in, very competitive. Usually races with a yellow hat, if you spot that. Liz Beswick in the stroke seat, Ricky Rule in the Cox's seat. Not up there in the medals at the moment. They did have a great first heat yesterday, but things have moved on.
Yeah, just passing there, we saw Czechia Masters crew there a second ago, and Great Britain 02 went around there as well.
Another Masters crew, actually. Bryony Jones, Annie Guest, Lena Breslin, Andrea Davis, Tim Fenmore, 61 years of age, young, had a bit of trouble with influenza earlier this year, but now all over that.
Looks like Netherlands 01 going around there as well. There's still a few to come to this marker. Turning point 4.
So I have a challenge for you, Neve, which you can accept or just tell me to get lost.
Okay. Get
Who
lost.
is the leading Masters crew so far in this race? We have Czechia, we have Spain 3, Britain 1, Britain 2, and Netherlands 1 and Turkey 6. They're all the Masters entries.
So based on way past like at turning point 1, I'm going to say Spain 03, but things could very much have changed.
Yeah, things very much could change. We don't have intermediate times for these crews at the moment.
Now I need to give a shout out to Galley Flash there, just passing that red marker. They are my own home rowing club. I've rowed with them since I was 8 years old. And here they are representing us. And I know there's a big contingent of Galley supporters here and lots of people watching at home. And I want to give a special shout out to Dennis Murray, who is hopefully watching the racing as well.
Good old Dennis. So more crews coming round. So that is crew number 425, and they are Turkey crew. That's Bozoglu, Dorgu, Salih, Kapu, and coxed by Yalin Aladin from the Kwekli Samuspor Kurek Club.
And yeah, we had another Turkish quad there going around, and then final, it's 18 boats here, so this is the final boat to go around that marker, and then we will catch up with the leaders
I'm going to say
again.
this is another Turkey crew, 418, but they might, yeah, it is Turkey 2. So
The seat came off the rails there for one of the rowers just as they were going around that marker.
Oh, that's so
Fortunate.
Yeah.
But yes, back to the leaders here now. Spain 01, Sevilla, they are just loving this. They're beautiful rowers, you know, their blade work is lovely here. They're up against the swell now on this 2,000 meter leg.
Yeah, so they're kind of now more into a sort of endurance-y type rhythm. They were kind of really gunning it on that leg out down eastwards, and then that turn westwards back. So a bit like a horse, you know, they can sort of smell where the stable is and they're going back home. So, you know, you feel a lot better like that. You ever work with horses when they're like that?
Yes.
Yeah. Not that I'm making any aspersions about the Sevilla crew and equine animals, but certainly the homeward leg is one that you feel great on.
You absolutely do. You can absolutely see that they have changed their style a little bit more of that typical coastal style of rowing that we see from the Spanish rowers with that lie back. Seem to have a little bit of extra lie back here now as they go up against the swell here. But like they're just, you can see how much the boat is bouncing around here, but their blade work is incredibly clean. They're just so, again, similar to the US, the next level rowing. We're seeing them, the athletes there, we're seeing them very relaxed here.
So Olivia Del Castillo in the 3 seats is really laying it down. I think she's sculling beautifully, the 22-year-old, just with the blonde hair. She's just on the right of the picture there, and our drones put her centre of the picture. What a great athlete to have in the 3 seat of a crew. And yeah, she's moving her hands quite nicely around the finish. Little splash there. And I think you said these boats are self-bailing.
They are, yeah, they are generally. So they can fill water, but it'll go out the back behind the cocks again, out the stern. But you can see like this, you know, the conditions here, while it looks beautiful on the drone, you can see how much of a splash there is and how much the bow is going up and down. But for them to stay so relaxed and composed and continue rowing as beautifully as they are, you know, to credit to them, clearly have a lot of time done in rough waters.
There's a shot from the stern. See how synced up. You can see there's hardly any rudder that is used by Sergio there, the coxswain of this crew. So if you use the rudder, that's going to produce drag on the boat. It'll turn it around. So he kind of wants to use it as little as possible. But obviously, got to have the course set for this mid buoy, which will be a yellow buoy, which is kind of a 1 kilometre buoy. They're out in front. It looks pretty set. Certainly the race for gold and silver, but there's a nice little contest going on behind, possibly for bronze medal in this Club Coastal Women's Cox Quadruple Sculls race.
Yeah, there is for sure. I'm trying to look at the times from the last turning point so we can try and figure out who is coming where. That Spanish crew from Sevilla, they went around that mark in 15 minutes. We're not getting the times for everyone, but Ireland 01, it looks like we're coming around in that second position. So yeah, the drone is loving staying with this leading boat here.
Yeah.
So they're certainly leading it out, and they are coming into our view, and they'll be heading towards that chicane now shortly. So they're on that big 2K leg, and then they'll have that final approach to the beach. So yeah, the bow person needs to be eventually starting to think, okay, I've just rowed 6 kilometers. I have a little bit of a run to do now as well.
Yeah, and you talked about those jelly legs, which is surely what they'll have now. I did notice Natalia up in the bows just having a little look to the shore. I don't know if she could tell. There she is looking again. I mean, really, all she can look at is, like, where are those hotels? Because that's the finish line. And, you know, she probably can't see them yet because she's not turning around enough.
Yeah, they still have a little bit to go away from that finish line, but maybe she's just, taking in the visual cues around her, and just making sure that she's getting her blades nice and clean, particularly when you're in the bow, because I've raced in the bow seat in a couple of quads at different worlds, and particularly when conditions are a bit more challenging than this, you could be up in the air for one stroke while the strokes person is right in the water. So you're very much, your hand height and blade height is so unpredictable, particularly in the bow.
So you're watching the first Spanish crew from Sevilla. They have led this race pretty much from the first stroke, and they have pulled out a great distance there on, I want to say, is that an Irish crew behind them?
Yeah, it was certainly Ireland 01 that were in that second position at the last turning point when we got the time, but it looks like, no, they're after being overtaken by Ireland 03, it looks like to me, boat number 410.
Yeah, I want to say that's 410.
Yes, that is Miriam Sheehan stroking that boat. I've raced up against her in the solo many times. She is joined by Siobhan and Niamh Lorden, the sisters from Kilmac-Simon, Sinead Murphy from Castletownbere in the bow. So they're in a lovely second position. Cox there by Peter Doyle of Wicklow. He's a world medalist, Cox. European medalist, Cox. Yes, he is.
On that drone shot, they don't look too far behind the Spanish crew in front. They might have even made a little bit of ground up on them.
Yeah, and they've taken a big lead over, it looks like, Ireland 01 now in that third position. So I would have loved to have seen what kind of went on at those last few turns, and maybe something happened there, because definitely Ireland 01 had been leading ahead of Ireland 03, but it's the opposite now.
Well, two Irish crews in silver and bronze medal position in this Club Coastals. Spain 01 still maintain that lead. You can see the space in between the sort of hotels, or you could just see it there, which is where the finish area is, and that indicates they're coming up to this chicane. So the Cox is going to be called to even more action on the rudder to go smoothly around the buoys. There's the hotels. You can see the Netherlands have got the closest hotel to the start area. It used to be the British that got the best hotel, but they're kind of in one of the ones to the right. They've all bought package holidays, I think, the British team, which is the cheapest way to get out here with flights and for holidays. Any way that will work will do.
Any way that will work, yeah. You want to be staying as close as possible to these venues, because there can be a lot of walking, particularly when there's sand involved. The muscles aren't used to walking on the sand unless you've been practicing. But yes, we're seeing, the top three boats there. So Spain 01 still leading this one out. Then we have the composite of Kilmac-Simon, Castletownbere, Wicklow in second position. Niamh and Miriam there, they got a silver medal last year at the Europeans. So at the moment, looks like they're going to match that. Siobhan Lorden has been incredible in the solo boat this year, and she raced at the home beach sprints a few weeks ago.
Do you think it's just a coincidence that Irish crews are in second and third, and you're from Ireland and
What are you trying to
commentating
say,
on
Martin?
them? Well, I think you've got sending out good vibes to your
always good vibes.
your compatriots.
Yeah.
Compadres.
What's great to see is that, I've competed against a lot of these on the water, but there's so much camaraderie and friendship in this sport.
Which, to be quite honest, is why they're the athletes they are now.
Oh, I'll take it as a compliment.
Oh, it's meant a backhanded compliment, I think.
So yes, Spain 01, that incredible, they've been strong from the very start. They've been leading this one out and holding on to that lead. Then we have Ireland 03 here. Peter Doyle with that baseball cap backwards again.
Well spotted. So is that
position.
just no mistakes now? Because they kind of want to beat the Irish crew behind them, but they are being really pushed on. So who is that in fourth place? They're coming around. We'll get a look at their number. So that's 405 that must think they could possibly medal if they can get close on this chicane.
That is Germany 02. We haven't even been mentioning them. 3 of them were 5th at the Worlds last year.
Oh, they had that race in the heat, didn't they, with the crew that were 4th in the Worlds last year.
So they have a chance of breaking into that top 3 spot now.
Francesca Kozling, Sarah Ann Kronman, Tessa Kuhn, Johanna Louise Kanwich, Cox by Jakob Mikarski, youngest in the crew, the 20-year-old Cox. They are representing Bremerhaven, I think, from the north of Germany. And they have a chance. They have a chance of a medal if they can get their bows in front of the third Irish crew, and it may come down to the sprint for the line.
Yeah, now technically there's going to be 6 sets of medals given out after this race. We have the Masters as well. We'll have to try and figure out who's winning that category in a second.
You said it was Spain 03, the Altea club.
That was
didn't you?
ages ago.
That
Things
was
could have
ages ago.
changed.
Okay.
Yeah, so final turning point there for Spain 01. They are on their final approach, 300 meters to go, and it will be Natalia Miguel Gomez probably jumping out. Now it is Ireland 03 going around. Sinead Murphy of Castanbert, she'll be the one that'll be mentally preparing herself for that run.
Whoa, look at that. Wide round the turn. And here is the race. Who's that? Is that Germany gone wide out there? Who's that?
They're going around. That's a separate chicane marker. They're on the far side of that. Yeah.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of crossing and different boats out there because we also have the beach sprinters as well. But here they are. Final 100 meters here. For Spain 01 in the Club Coastal Women's Coxed Quadruple Sculls. What a beautiful race from them. Really shortened up the stroke here now to try and make use of the little bit of a run into the beach. There is a slight pull to the right-hand side as we're looking, sorry, to the left-hand side as we're looking out at the beach. The Coxes still have to work.
So is that a battle between Germany 1 and the third place Irish crew for the bronze medal?
I think it might be. I think it might be a little bit of a battle going on, and it's going to be a lot of carnage here as all the quads land, but it is Spain 01. Natalia Miguel Gomez, nice sprint from her. She is going to take the win in the Club Coastal Women's Cox Quadruple Sculls. Let's see who is coming in that second position. It is Ireland 03, Kilmac Simon, Castanbert, Wicklow, Sinead Murphy pulling in the oars, getting herself set. She is out, and she's fallen. She has to be careful. She is out of the water. I think she must have been too hot there, wanted to go for a little bit of a swim. So well done there to Sinead Murphy. Ireland 03 coming in to take the silver medal. And here we have Niamh Dugan of Kincastle for Ireland 01 coming in to take the bronze medal. Let's see what Masters crews start to come in. We have Germany.
That was Germany 01. That's Francesca Kusling. That finished in 4th place.
So we still don't have any Masters crews in yet, so we don't have the medalists.
So
next up here.
I want to say that's Spain 2, 403, coming up to the beach.
So this could be our first.
That's, I think that's Spain.
Spain, is that one of our Masters crews?
That's Spain 2. It's Rosa Pastor, crew 403. Spain 2, I don't think that's a master.
Oh, that was our Masters. That was Gonzalez of Spain 03. So they're our first Masters crew, Club Nautico Altea.
So that is the GBR, I want to say that's GBR 1.
Second in the Masters.
Second in the Masters. Joe Price gets the silver medal.
Germany.
That's Köstling from Germany. That's Germany 1. That's Francesca Köstling. So that must have been Germany 02. I was calling Germany 1. Annie Kirsten Fennig, who was running up to the beach.
So we still have a bronze medal to go for the Masters. I'm wondering, is this a Masters crew? There's a lot of navigating for the runners here. This is Czechia, so yes, I believe they are a Masters crew.
That's a good shout, actually, from the Moravia club, Jitka Matsova. And bronze medal for her.
Yeah, so bronze medal in the Masters. So there are gold, silver and bronze in both the Open and the Masters categories.
So there are still a lot of boats to finish. I'm looking out on the course in front of us, and it is full of coastal women's Cox quadruples.
As is the beach. The beach is just full of them.
Littered. So Britain 2, the composite from the Dolphin and Barbarians Club. I think that was Bryony Jones just crossing the line.
It was indeed, yes. We see her at all the European and World coastal events. Incredible coastal rower.
Bryony Jones started back in 2006 in Sandersfoot. And the crew from the Netherlands just sprinting for the line, Caroline Boekstein, 55 years young. Still a lot of the Türkiye crews, and here's the bowwoman of this boat here, 416. She's turned around and she's now focused on the jump out of the boat, which is Türkiye 6, so that's Bahar Haseki.
Yes, here she comes. Türkiye 6, getting big applause here from her fellow competitors.
And they've all got socks on. There's no training shoes, so they wear the socks. And I think if you're an endurance rower, if you don't wear socks in the boat, you get kind of blisters on your toes. We were seeing with Eva Karpinen yesterday. And of course, she does beach sprints, so she's got bruises on her legs in the times where she has sort of had contact with the boat while jumping out in a hurry.
Yeah, we've Ireland O2 here now, so this is my club, Galley Flash. Lots of supporters on the beach here. So Aisling Fien is out. They're right up on the beach. So here she comes. Lovely sprint from Aisling Fien. Well done there to Galley Flash. Big smile on Aisling's face, big wave. Well done there to all the crew.
Yeah, it is a thing, isn't it? Because you've got boat handlers trying to get the boat out as soon as you can. You've got crews that have raced sort of milling around, and in the mix of that, there are still boats coming in wanting to sprint towards the finish.
Yes, indeed. Exactly, it's just about trying to get as much clearance as they can.
But I think this is the last time we'll see the Cox Quadruple Sculls in this championships. Have I got that right?
We still have the men's to go.
Ah, the men's. So they'll be using these boats. That's interesting. Thank you. So boat 426 coming in. That is Türkiye 08.
What a sprint.
Fantastic sprint there from Ilde Yilmaz, 16-year-old.
Hand went to her back.
Oh, wow. So,
looks like she's in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah. And the president of the European board just wandering over to check Anne-Marie Phelps.
I think the last few quads now on the water, making their final approach to the chicane area.
So it's so important for these crews to have got a finish place in this European Coastal Championships. There we have another of the Türkiye athletes there. And I think that's Bahar Haskari, one of the Turkish Masters crews. Haskari, 44 years of age. Finished there.
Big green boat now coming towards us on the beach. 425. That is Türkiye 09.
Türkiye 09, so that'll be Denise Bozoglu to jump out of the bows. She's getting ready as we speak. Just releasing her feet. And here she goes, out on the sand, and I'd say that was a jog up to the finish line.
It's certainly a jog up. I think, after rowing 6 kilometers, you don't want to always have to sprint if you don't need to.
Yeah.
So well done there. It's Türkiye 09 and another Turkish crew coming up now.
Yeah.
Walking up to the finish line. Turning around to have a look at her crew.
I think that's Phil Kanselic, who is the Cox, actually, of Türkiye 5.
I missed that jump out.
Or maybe it isn't, actually. Palo Rowing Club. So, no, that's Bethel Selik. So she was the stroke of the Pirakerek Club, Turkey 1. Sure. And there is boat. There's a lot of Turkish boats, and these guys will train a lot on flat water, so they're not used to sea conditions. So they've done exceptionally well to compete in this event.
Türkiye 02 now.
Yeah, the second Turkish crew, that's Sudanaz Ozdemir, 21 years of age.
Antalya University is who they are representing. So a young crew of students.
Is that the last crew to finish?
I think it could be
I
Martin.
want to say, I think it could be.
Yeah, it certainly looks like so. 18 crews there. We're doing our best to try and identify who's who based on the boat numbers, so do stay patient with us as we try to identify everybody. But we are moving on to our next category very soon. We're staying with the clubs, and this time it's going to be the Club Coastal Mixed Double Sculls. This is a straight final. There was no heats for this one. Now we are going to see a few rowers who are doubling up from the National Federation mixed doubles that we saw this morning. So 19 boats. So with the change in the schedule this week and with the kind of adverse weather and there was things kind of cancelled, they decided that if there was any category with 20 or less entries, that it would be a straight final. So this is one of those. This is the Club Coastal Mixed Doubles Sculls. So we have 19 entries. They are all lining up. The 3 balls are in the air, which means there is 3 minutes to go to the start line. So for the rowers who are looking back on the shore, back to the beach, they'll be able to see the 3 balls in the air. There'll also be 3 hooters. That signals that there's 3 minutes to go. Usually they'll have some sort of timing device within the boat, which they will set, and they'll know there's 3 minutes to go. So again, they're all just lining up and trying to create as much space as they can. Nobody looks too bunched up right now. Obviously, there's more space compared to the last race. The quads take up much more space compared to the doubles and the solos. So we'll be bringing you the action shortly.
Yeah, so we will be back directly in just about a minute's time. Don't you go anywhere. It'll be the final of the Club Coastal Men's Doubles.
Bizi bile uyar. Biz de fark edemeyiz. Gönüllüler orada mı? He? Gönüllüler orada var mı? Yok abi. Baksana.
So here we are back again. This is the start of the Club Coastal Mixed Doubles. And clearly, as the title suggests, male and female athletes start here for the event here.
Yeah, we're seeing beautiful drone shots here. Looking back on the beach, you can see the mountains in the background, all the resort hotels. It's a lovely view if you're out there in one of those boats looking back on this. But as you can it's a little disorienting because there's a lot going on, so you can understand why, when they're coming into the approach of the finish, why it can be hard to know where exactly to land. But yes, 19 entries. We have France, Netherlands, Turkey, Germany, Spain, Finland, Monaco, Italy, Great Britain, Austria, USA. So lots of countries and clubs represented, and here they go, the start of the Club Coastal Mixed Double Sculls. Already things very spread out as they head out now on this 1K leg.
Few names here. So that is boat 206. That's the Spanish second boat, Casanova and Arenas. Doing well. 215 in the mix there. Antonioli, Canton Antonioli is here, I think, the Olympic competitor from Monaco and former Oxford Brooks rower. Giovanni in the stroke seat for that Monegasque crew.
And we're seeing France 01 now starting to make a bit of a push here. Arthur Sanson and Marine Delano. Arthur raced last year at the Worlds, finishing 4th in the men's double. So he's come over to the mixed doubles this time. Must be a different feeling racing with in a mixed double compared to a women's or a men's double.
Yeah, from Barneville Carteret Club, which is on the sort of west side, opposite Jersey and Guernsey, the Channel Islands, if you know that part of France, up in Normandy. And right on the coast, obviously Barneville Carteret, so a lot of practice will be had there. So it's Monaco with Antonioli leading out, boat 215, and then, as you heard, boat 211. Well, actually, that's Boulet and Le Breton from Saint-Malo. Saint-Malo sort of just down the coast a little bit, maybe about 100 kilometres from Barneville Carteret in sort of edge of Brittany and Normandy.
Yeah, we're zooming in here on 212, that is France 01.
I want to say there's more swell on the water now, but I don't know.
No, you're right. Looking out now, things are freshening up. The wind was due to change around from the north to the west to the southwest throughout the morning, and winds staying light. Like, it's certainly not as rough as we've seen other years at different European and World Championships. But France 01 now, looking very smooth, and it's quite bouncy here because it's kind of actually quite diagonal now. It was kind of straight on swell, where it's quite diagonal
Does
now.
it matter that France 01 from Saint-Malo and Monaco Society Nautique Monaco are they this far apart in terms of, I guess they're heading for the same buoys, so are France going to come in, or how do we know what the best course is?
Yeah, so I guess that they start at completely different ends of the starting line, and that's why there's so much space between them now. But you can see France 01 are having to start to edge inwards, and they're starting to come closer.
So that's going to cost them time, right?
Absolutely, but they will, like, they're going to have a bit of a wider turn, so their speed won't have to drop as much, whereas Monaco will probably have a bit of a tighter turn, and we may see them keeping nice and close to the turning marker, and we'll have to potentially back, which slows the speed, and then they're going to have to accelerate again. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Definitely France are having to go on a longer route. So while it is a 1,000 metre leg, they're probably rowing more than that.
Antonioli, who finished 19th in the Paris Olympics in the single sculls, he is a experienced Olympic competitor. Memory serves, he was also competing in the Tokyo Olympics, made the A final of a World Cup event too, finished 15th in the Tokyo Games.
So here we are, marker is coming into view here now. So Monaco, that inside line, they're hitting that marker. So that kind of would have slowed them down ever so slightly, but France, they probably have enough of a gap ahead of France now. France were able to keep rowing, keep the speed up.
But in terms of the events we've seen, that isn't a gap.
It's not.
Are they riding on the stern of the Monaco boat?
Yeah, now they're going to take the inside line from them.
Well, that's they're saying that's Barneville Carteret, so boat 15. We'll just get a confirmation of that. Or
yeah, so Monaco leading this one out. 15 is France 01 in second position. Then crew number 6, which is Spain 02. That is Casanova and Ernest in that third position. Netherlands 01 then currently in 4th.
So Netherlands 01 is boat of Mickey Reve and Cornelius Palsma, KNZ and RV, the club, youngsters. We haven't seen much of the husband and wife combo, Sophie Sauer and Martino Goretti. I don't know who's looking after their little girl. It was Marika Kaiser walking with her on the beach yesterday. But they are racing as Italy 1, and if you want to look out for the number of those guys, the boat number, which is probably the easiest way to spot it, they are boat number 218. They'll be up there.
They'll be up there. We're seeing coming into the screen now 201. That is Spain 01. Iborra and Navarro. So that is Ana Navarro Blasco. She was at the World Championships back in 22, lightweight women's double scull. Ibora, we've seen him at the beach sprints last year in the junior mixed double, the under-19 mixed double.
Yeah, and they're based on Alicante, which is on that Mediterranean coast of Spain, where they have the Coastal Rowing Beach Sprint Academy.
And Italy 0-1 there. We just saw them. They're gone off our screen here again. So yeah, Monaco opening up a nice lead here now. We're seeing 2-1-2. So yeah, Monaco on the right-hand side of the screen. France 0-1 then on the left-hand side. So Monaco going, they're keeping that rate up nice and high. So this is the 1,800-meter leg.
So I don't know much about the athlete Gaia Chiavini, who's in the stroke seat, the 22-year-old. I know she has rowed in coastals, not like Quentin in the flat water, but it's a fantastic partnership, isn't it?
Yeah, we've seen her at the international coastal events over the years, so lots of experience, and she's paired here now with an incredible athlete, flatwater and beach. We've seen him at the beach sprints and the coastals. He was in the beach sprints back in 2021 when he was in Portugal. He was in the men's solo, and he raced in the men's solo last year, finishing 7th at the Endurance Worlds.
Basically, he's a serial sort of flat water, a serial rower.
Serial rower. He's a bit like Joel. They do it all.
Yeah.
Flat water, beach sprints, endurance. And
So the French, I think they are back in second place. That is the Barneville Carteret crew, Sanson and Delano.
yeah, Monaco just opening up a big gap here now. They're using this little bit of a swell. Again, it's directly behind them here now. So the more experienced coastal rowers are going to use this leg to their advantage and try and surf that little bit of a swell as much as they can. Now, to the right of the screen, you're seeing that yellow marker. That's a visual aid, and they're actually staying well outside that. So on this 1,800-meter leg, actually crews are staying very wide.
Why? Why do you think?
I'm not sure. Earlier, they were staying much, in earlier races, they were staying much closer to it. Potential that they're being pushed slightly. You know, they're having to do a lot of looking around to make sure they're on course. And you can see France now starting to make a move and taking that inside line.
That's quite interesting. So I wonder how much Antonioli and his partner Giovini will be influenced by what the crew behind is doing, and if they'll just drift over towards their, I guess it's port side, stroke side blades, if you know rowing and sculling.
Yeah, so the wind is kind of swinging, so potentially just there might be that little bit of a push, and the tide, I believe, is going out as well. So there's maybe an outward push slightly, hence then why they're taking a bit of a wider course.
These are the French we're looking at. We're back now with the crew from Monaco, but that was the Barneville Carteret Club, Sanson and Delano. So we now have Roland Vai, who's Olympic bronze medalist from France in 1976 Olympics, former vice president of World Rowing, and lives in Monaco, I think, and he is massively excited because he's walking around wearing the Challenge Prince Albert and the crossed oars. Prince Albert, a very keen supporter of coastal rowing and rowing in Monaco, member of the International Olympic Committee too, I believe.
Yeah, and we see that big challenge every year, and we're going to see a lot of the kind of international beach sprint and coastal endurance rowers get together at this challenge.
So this is interesting. So Antonioli and Chiavini are now sort of losing ground to the Barneville Carteret.
Look at the difference in the rate. The French are keeping it down a little bit, whereas Monaco look like they're working very hard.
And they've got to come across, haven't they, towards the French.
Yeah.
So at the moment, we're liking the French tactics.
We are liking the French tactics, yeah. They decided to take that inside line, but Monaco now seem to be moving. It's kind of depending on what time, you know, the catching,
it's
timings
a bit like
of the swells.
rowing used to be. You kind of take a little break, and then suddenly it kind of, you know, Quentin will just go, right, let's go.
Let's go.
And
work hard
then,
for a few strokes.
She will up the rate in the stroke seat, Gaia, and they'll just put a little bit of distance between themselves and the French.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And then the French might catch one and they'll be right up next to them again. You know, that it's quite unpredictable. But yeah, they're making their way down now towards that turning point. They shouldn't be too far away from it at this stage. This is 1,800 meters of a leg. So Monaco still holding on to that lead here now and starting to open it up again. The French seem to have slowed down a little bit. They're just at the bottom of one of those swells. Monaco have one at their stern now, so you can see them upping it and trying to take advantage. And again, this is where you'll start to separate the more experienced coastal rowers and those who maybe are quite new to it, because you can see how adaptable the crew from Monaco are being and changing that rate as needed. And here come the French again. Flying up.
They will not be put off, the French, will they? So the
No.
question is, like, who's got the best line on the buoy? I'm just fascinated to see. I mean, if we could get a drone shot behind them to look and see where that buoy was, we could kind of like the French now coming up in the lead, and Antonioli's got not much left. He's looking for the buoy.
So the French have the inside line to the buoy, so they'll have a more direct route to the next leg.
But do you think they're like inside on the wrong side of the buoy?
No.
Because they're coming. Oh, I see. Like,
So the inside leg meaning that they're the closest to
yeah.
it.
So there's that red turning buoy. So the French are going to go into this in the lead. They're really pushing it on now, aren't they? The French.
They
so
are.
yeah.
They got lucky there with they used some swells really well, and look how much of a lead they have now. Like
That's
this
crazy.
is how it changes so quickly in coastal endurance with the use of those waves as well.
So back to the drawing board for the Monegasque crew. In that sense, what are they going to produce on this leg here? And we will give you a check on the third place crew.
So 2:04.
What are they doing on that turn? Do they know they got to make a turn on that? So 2:04, that is the Netherlands 1 composite, Revet and Palsma. And that was an amazing kind of turn in the sense that they seem to continue heading eastward rather than turn sort of northward towards the beach.
Yeah, they just kept rowing, and they'll try and straighten up afterwards. We also saw the Austrian rowing team, Katharina Lobnig and Yuri Shuchak, who we saw earlier in the National Federation mixed doubles as well. They were probably in about 5th or 6th position there going around that marker. So we'll hopefully get some times into us shortly of these boats. We have 2:13 there. That is USA 01 next level rowing. This time it is Malachi Anderson in the bow, Adriana Borsen in the stroke seat. She's a former lightweight rower. She rowed at the World Championships last year. She was 8th overall in the lightweight women's single. She's teamed up with Malachi Anderson, who is very known in the beach sprint world. Multiple medalist.
So if it goes as we've seen the last part of the race, the Barneville-Carteret double will slowly edge away. But I don't know, if I was in Monaco and I had that sprint power of Antonioli, I would just kind of stay in contact and reckon, you know, I can call out like 20 strokes to Gaia in the stroke seat and then just do like a massive sprint and get level with them.
Absolutely. I think it'll be hard on this leg because, you know, there's a sideways swell, but once they turn the next turning point and go into that big long 2K leg, that's where we'll see who's more powerful, who will get through that long 2K leg. So they're absolutely still within a shot of that gold medal.
Yeah, so if I was Antonioli, I would want to stay in contact with them. I wouldn't want to go in front because that might annoy the French and they might try and, you know, get back in front. So
Yeah.
I'd be confident, you know, kind of have a tactic. It's a bit of a sneaky tactic, really, of letting the French think they're quicker and then doing something. So a little bit slow on the turn for the Monegasque boat, I'd say.
Yeah, the French got around that much more efficiently. They certainly backed with their right hand, continued pulling with their left, but they just got around it much more efficiently. So this is where the power comes in now. They're up against that swell. And it's about clean blades.
Yeah, so that is the second boat there, coming round the turn from the Netherlands composite, Palsma and Revet.
They're currently sitting in 3rd.
Yeah,
We definitely have the Austrian rowing team there as well, Austria 1. They're one of those boats, one of the 3 that have just gone around. See the different angles that they're coming in at. Some of them wide, some of them very narrow, that yellow boat there.
Spain 2 as well, Elena Skiles and Calpe Casanova from Clot de Liliot El Campello. Spanish club.
Yeah, so we're just getting some graphics and some results. So France 01 still in that lead, Monaco in second. Then it is both number 13, so Netherlands 01, as you mentioned, Martin. They're in that third position. Italy 01 in fourth. Then it is Spain 02 in that fifth position. And then Austria in sixth.
So was that Italy 01 that you're talking about? Was that Sauer and Goretti?
Yes, fourth position.
So
Going
it'd be
around that
interesting
marker.
to see if they can get back on the Netherlands crew. There are the French from Barneville-Carteret, and they look to be sculling quite powerfully in that swell, don't they? Nice little run off the bow, off the back end.
Yeah, you have to concentrate on power now once you're up against this swell, because you want the boat to keep moving. You don't want it going up and down and stopping and starting. You want to try and drive through the swell as much as you can, so the leg drive becomes extra important here.
I think Antonioli's tactics are not quite working in this way. So is that the Italians that are coming up on the crew from the Netherlands? Who are we looking at? So that's the second and third crew.
1 and 2. This is third. This is Netherlands, Italy, Austria, and we have Spain 02 in the mix there as well.
So there's the race leaders. Barneville-Carteret, you can see they're sculling really well, beautifully synced up together. And just handling this long run into the swell expertly.
Yeah, making sure they're staying nice and clean. Those hands down and away become very important when the boat is moving up and down like this. So they're clearing the water nicely, being patient at the catch, making sure they're feeling that water on the
Do you ever get
blades.
seasick in a swell like this?
You know, this is a funny question, because on a boat I will get seasick, but put me in a rowing boat and I won't.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, funny one, isn't it?
It is a funny one.
Not sure if that is the case for everyone. I'm sure there's a rower out there who might get seasick, but you know, there's so much to think about, so much to concentrate on that.
There's
you
no
don't-
time.
There's no time. Although we had the itchy nose earlier from Chris Back, he had time.
Chris Back, who scratched his nose and still won the Club Coastal Men's Singles.
Yeah, so we're staying with the leaders here now. 212, France 01. Having a look around. This is the big leg, 2,000 meters to the next marker. There is a midpoint visual aid to help keep them on course, because again, 2,000 meters, when you're in the open sea like this, it's very hard to know if you're on course. So they do have a marker about halfway down that will help them stay on the course.
Yeah, you just saw Arthur Sanson, 23-year-old, look around his stroke. Marine Delano, 28 years of age. It's the first time they've teamed up in the championships.
You're seeing the lead here now between first and second position, and then between second and third, fourth, fifth, like big gaps opening up. How quick a change from Monaco having a lovely lead on that outward leg, and then France now have that big
It's
lead.
kind of the first race we've seen where the leaders haven't actually dominated the event
Yeah.
and stayed in front.
Yeah. They're certainly dominating it now. So that's that midpoint that I mentioned that they're just gone past. So this time they're kind of staying outside that one.
I reckon they've got about 4 or 5 minutes to enter the kind of chicane, 4 or 5 minutes of rowing. And in a pretty much bulletproof rhythm that the French crew, Marine Delano, has set. Beautiful sculling from her. Actually, I kind of want to say Marine might be there in the bow seat. I've got Marine in the stroke seat.
She's in the stroke seat.
She's in the stroke seat, yeah. And
So for context, me and Martin are out
Oh.
in a little tent on the beach. The sun is
Yeah.
shining. There's a massive glare off the screen that we're watching.
So basically, Marine is 1.90 m in the stroke seat, and her partner Arthur is 1.80 m. So there's 10 centimetres difference. So I think what I saw was the taller athlete, Marine. I didn't realise she was, well, she basically towers over her partner, doesn't she?
It does.
1.90 m.
Yeah, so this you can see like when the drone is behind them that the swell actually isn't straight on, it's slightly sideways on this leg, so it makes things a little bit more messy. But it's about being able to adapt to that and being comfortable with different hand heights, different blade heights. That is a big part of this coastal rowing endurance racing.
Yeah, and I think we were talking in commentary yesterday. There's the second place crew, the Monegasques. And, well, they look to have a healthy lead over the bronze medal crew. I guess Antonioli will be focused looking behind him rather than looking in front, unless he wants to look for the buoy, that is.
Yeah, I'm wondering now, is he following the French crew or is he looking for the marker? Because, you know, some rowers will look around, they'll see the other boat and they'll just aim for them. Never know if they're going right. So you really have to like take your time and look for that marker buoy yourself. It's important. They're kind of staying up tall at the finish compared to the French. So the French seem to have a bit of a longer lie back. So maybe making use of those blades in the water as they're up against that swell.
Yeah, so
for a
it'd
little
be
bit longer.
great if our drone could maybe fly over the battle for third place. It's going up to the leaders now, but and perhaps understandably, we've got a turning buoy coming up in the next 2 or 3 minutes as these guys come closer to us. The latest that we knew was the Netherlands 1 composite of Mickey Revert and Cornelius Palza.
Yeah, and we had the Italians up there in 4th position, so I'll be interested to see if they've come into the mix for that bronze medal. But staying with the leaders here. I'm looking out, I'm not seeing them. I think they're starting to come into view potentially.
Yeah, we kind of have to look in our commentary position around the edge of the grandstand to see the boats by eye visually. But French will know, I guess, from points on the bank and also from their watches just how much of the course they have got to go. You can see there the finish area and the kind of boats out, and the buoys soon come up for this route from San Malo.
Yeah, they've angled that pretty nicely now. You can see the yellow turning marker and there's a boat next to it, so they'll have some umpires in it. So they angled that up nicely there. They're just coming up into it. They have about 15 more strokes to go and they'll be coming into the first boat, or the first marker of the chicane. So yeah, they've angled it nicely. Monaco right behind them. There's like, I'm not even sure how many lengths of a boat there is, probably 10 lengths between them. But here they come, the first of 3 chicane turns.
Yeah, they did well.
Quite a tight one, yeah. They stayed enough outside of it so their blades just stay clear of it.
Of course, it's the Barneville-Carteret crew, not St. Malo, who are further back. Here's the crew from Monaco on that first chicane turn. Let's see how they get around this little bit pedestrian around the turn. So again, I think they've pulled hard there, but marks out of 10 for that turn.
It was okay. They just feathered the left-hand oar and just rested it on the water as opposed to backing. This is a very tight turn here from 3rd place.
So that kind of looks like 218, which is the
Italy.
Italian.
Yes.
So Sau and Goretti have got past the Netherlands
204 now
into
in
bronze
4.
medal position. The husband and wife team synced up.
Austria here.
And that is 202 from Austria, Lobnig, Katarina Lobnig and Yuri Suchek.
Yes.
See the graphic there. It's pretty close, just 6 or 7 seconds between bronze and 4th.
Which isn't much in this rowing.
So crew 206 going round from Spain to Casanova and Arenas. And that is a very tight turn, isn't it?
That was tight. They were lucky there. They were almost pushed to the other side. That's 219, I think.
210, I thought, from Sevilla.
You've better eyesight than me.
The Gosategi, and it's interesting. Hazea Gosategi Urbieta and Ohan Gosategi Urbieta. 18 and 25. I guess they're brother and sisters, the two athletes from Sevilla.
We're back with the leaders here now, so they're coming into the second of 3 chicane turning points. So they're back towards the beach. They're coming up. My apologies, they're on their final approach.
They are on their final approach.
300 meters from that last mark. Oh, we have a collision here between two crews at that marker. Oh, that looks like that one of the US crews, next level rowing.
Yeah, it will be
USA
next
01.
level rowing. That's a great shout.
Yeah.
Anderson and Burson.
Yeah, completely
And,
stuck there.
See who that was, and I don't know who's at fault there as they make the turn for the beach. But we're focusing on the French. There is the really tall athlete, Marine Delano, who's stroked a beautiful race. Partners looking round. He will be jumping out of the boat. Arthur Sanson. And there comes Sanson running up towards our commentary position and the finish line. Give us a jump, Arthur. No, too exhausted. Hat comes off. And brilliant finish. And the crew from Monaco, not too much between them and the Italians who've been catching the crew from Monaco, Kenton Antonioli and Gaia Chiavini. And Antonioli jumps out of the boat. He's pretty much got to be content with his silver medal, I think.
Yeah.
No jump from Kenton.
Nice little shake of the hands and a hug there.
And yeah, the husband and wife team, that is Goretti crossing the line. And Mickey Revet, was that?
Yeah, it was.
From the Netherlands 01, the composite.
Yuri of Austria.
He looks absolutely done in, doesn't he?
That's his second 6-kilometer race of the day.
Yeah, Yuri Suchak, absolutely destroyed. He's having a hug with Antonioli there.
Spain.
Yeah, so that's Aocha Casanova Calpena, the 29-year-old from Clot de Iliot El Campello. Walking just in front of our commentary position. Boulet from the second French crew, Kerrian Boulet from Saint-Malo. And there is yet another Spanish crew.
Who passed us?
Who passed us? Couldn't see his name on his unisuit. But it ends in A. So I think I'm going for Hazia Gostegi Urbieta.
It looks like Bora. He's just turning around. So that was Spain 01, Alicante.
Oh, so it was Nick Abora Mira Alicante.
We did miss. There was another Spanish crew came in as well.
Yeah.
Malachi Anderson.
Anderson from USA takes his hat off at the end. And there is an exhausted British athlete. I think, was that a British athlete just crossing the line there?
It certainly was.
So that would be McKenna Simpson from Tynemouth, rows on the North Sea, up near Newcastle.
Türkiye. That was Ozturk, Erdem Ozturk, or Türkiye 04. First of the Turkish crews.
I think our last boats are coming back into the beach.
We do have one more. They're having to go on a big run around all the boats. Germany.
That is Adrian Klingerman, 24-year-old from North Germany, from the Hamburg Club.
Still a few boats out there on the course. There's one just gone around that final marker. There's still probably 3 or 4 more to go, still on that chicane course. Oh, this are the final few competitors in the Club Coastal mixed double sculls, but the winners there, France won. They had been kind of sitting in second place for the first few legs, took the lead and then just did not let it go. Second position was Monaco, and then third was Italy 01, Ospederi Treviso. Silver and bronze medalists, and we'll be showing the victory ceremonies later on today once we're finished all the endurance races.
Yeah, we're very excited about that, aren't we?
Yeah, we still have about 6 more endurance races to go, I think, today.
I do prefer the medal ceremonies after the event in one big sort of,
Yes.
shebang, rather than in between events,
Yes.
as we normally have them in Flatwater Rome. But I think that changed in Shanghai, didn't it? Because we had a big medal ceremony in the centre of Shanghai for the World
It looked
Championships.
amazing. Did you go to it?
I was in a plane flying back so I could teach on Monday morning,
Oh.
actually, which I was a bit gutted by. But hopefully I'll go back to Shanghai for the sprint event, the new World Rowing Sprint event, which is
Yes.
happening there.
So even another Turkish rower, Kapal, that's Barek Kapal, Türkiye 01, crossing that finish line.
It's fascinating how people sort of, get into new roles. We have our media guru here, Morrissey, who is now taken on the role of shepherding athletes as Henin from Germany, one of the brother-sister combination, Malta and Karina Henin. I say brother-sister, actually. They might be husband and wife.
I think they are brother-sister.
Yeah, I'd go for brother-sister, actually.
Yeah, I think there was a note about their mom. I mentioned her earlier. She started rowing. They inspired her to start rowing at 60, in her 63, I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
Still
right family affair.
A couple of mixed doubles to come into the beach. The next event is due off at 11:40 in 8 minutes, so we have plenty of time.
So potentially Finland making their way up the beach to us this time.
Yeah, it is definitely the crew from Finland, and that is Tom Kaliovara, 33-year-old from the Lohan Sejun Sujat Club. Oh, and the president of the European Federation recently won the election for vice president of World Rowing. Anne-Marie Phelps is now also taking on the role of shepherding rowers the correct exit to the beach.
Netherlands.
Yeah, and this is Joe Jansen, and the 63-year-old has been crossing the line, and he's just being directed the right way by very active presidents we have here in our rowing setup. They don't just sit and, drink champagne all
They
day
do
long.
not.
No, they
They
actually
are-
get their hands
Sandy.
Sandy, and help with the shepherding of athletes and officials.
Yeah, because I think once athletes cross the finish line, their natural thing is to turn and go back down the beach. Then there's a lot of oncoming traffic.
I think there's one more boat out there. Would that be right?
You're right, yes, there's one just going around that final marker.
Yeah, this is the most leisurely turn that I've seen. I don't know who it is.
Türkiye 03.
217. Türkiye 03. So that's Merv Uskuplu and Emir Ozturk. Merv is the female athlete in the bows of that boat. She's 31, and Emir at 23. So Merv, unsurprisingly, she's studying a PhD, and she finds that her work as an academic, yes, if you're doing a PhD and being an athlete at the same time, has been her biggest challenge this season. And, well, I think their challenge at the moment is for this crew to get into the bank. It looks like Merv is in the stroke seat, actually. For that crew 217.
217, yeah.
Yeah, so
Emer Ozturk and Merv Ozkuplu.
yeah, so they kind of change around the order from the seating that we've got. The male athlete in the bows and the female athlete in the stroke seat.
Gençler.
So Merv is coming into the bank and it will be her partner Emir. So we're going to see a big old sprint. I feel from Emir. He's not just going to saunter up and take the applause. He's going to sprint. There he comes.
Here he comes.
There's Emir Ozturk. Big smile on his face. And he's going to get shown the way by our president. Oh no, she's busy answering a call from Jean-Christophe Rolland, I think, of World Rowing.
That rounds out the final of the Club Coastal Mixed Double Sculls. Next up we have the National Federation Member Federation Coastal Men's Solo. It is a final. There is about 4 minutes to go to the start of this. 13 entries. Great Britain, Malta, Spain, Latvia, Poland, Finland, Slovakia, Czechia, and lots of different member federations. And the 3 balls are just going up. That signals 3 minutes to go to the start of the Coastal Men's Solo.
So we'll be back in another minute or so. Bye for now.
Gece yarılarına kadar yatmaz.
Hello again. We are back for the next final here. It's the Coastal Men's Solo. This is a national federation race, unlike the club races that we've been seeing. These guys are representing their federation. Familiar faces in this race. We've seen Joel Nakarainen already in the mixed doubles win that event with Eva Karpinen. He led out from the start. He is now in this race up against giants like Charlie Cousins, the former Olympic sculler from Great Britain. Jan Fleissner from the Czech Republic is going to feature. We've got a really stacked lineup, and it's going to be fascinating to see how this plays out.
It certainly will. We're looking on at our schedule on screen here now. So we have 6 finals to go here now. Next one getting underway in just under a minute. We'll be back then. There'll be a little break and back at 2 p.m. local Turkish time. Club Coastal Women's Solo. We have the Club Coastal Men's Double Sculls. Club Coastal Men's Cox Quadruple Sculls. The Coastal Women's Solo. That's the member federation race, and then we'll be rounding out the endurance part of the coastal championships with the Club Coastal Women's Double Sculls later this afternoon. That'll be followed by all the victory ceremonies for today's finals, where all the medals will be given out. But yeah, just under a minute now. So these solo scullers now lining up on the water start. They have 100 meters of a start line, and you can see as we look out from the beach, they're all at the left-hand side of that course, so they're aiming for that straight line out to the first turning marker. There's a big gap over the right-hand side, but here we go. The ball is dropped, the hooter is gone, and they are off. We'll wait for our drone shots to catch up with what is happening on the water.
So I'm going to be fascinated to see if Nakarainen blasts off really fast, but I think that's boat number 121, the Czechia athlete, Jan Fleissner. We kind of talked about him, didn't we? And he is an Olympic competitor. been in the Tokyo Games. 27-year-old.
Yeah, and the yellow Swift here closest to us on screen. We have Spain 02, that is Salvador Diaz Marino. Incredibly accomplished coastal rower. He was 10th back in Barletta 2023 in the men's double sculls. He was at the World Under-23s back in 2023 as well. He was in the men's pair. So he's after blasting it off now, getting into himself into a great position here now. So this is, you know, it's a national final. This is a great position to be in, to get out ahead of everyone else, get yourself into the lead.
And how's he handling that swell? I mean, what technique is necessary for him to do that?
It's when it's a sideways swell like that, you know, it's coming at your side, so your boat is up on one side, down on the other. So really the important thing is to stay adaptable with the hand heights is the biggest thing, so that you can stay clean with the blades, not get caught, you know, it's which he just did there slightly. You know, one blade could be in the water, one could be in the air, so it's so important to just feel the water, what's happening every stroke. So they're starting to bunch in a little bit together as they start to head towards the first marker. So Spain 01, Marc Franque Monfort, who we saw just a little earlier on, he is there in that 110, so he's in that green, that second position at the moment. You can see three boats pretty much in a line, 1-2-1, and then on the outside.
So that's the sculler from Czechia we're looking at now, 121 Fleissner. And we're just trying to get a look at the numbers, which is how we tell. Big numbers on the bows of the boat. Can't quite see who that number is on the far side. Number 108 back there. That's the Slovakian athlete, Oli Simek.
Yeah, so these four scullers now really starting to bunch up now. The furthest one out may have been Latvia, will have to start to veer in now towards the turning point, so adding on lots of meters to himself. So the direct line at the moment is going to Diaz Marino of Spain 2. He's currently still leading it out, but very much being pushed here now. They're all handling this sideways swell quite well and just staying present, staying adaptable to the ever-changing conditions.
It's interesting because this is the most demanding part of the course, in that they're effectively sprinting to the first buoy. Yeah, it's technically really difficult in that sideways swell.
Absolutely, yeah. They just have to stay clean on the drive part, and then, you know, a nice efficient recovery up the slide before they get into position for the next catch. No time to really breathe here, you know, but it is, as you said, it is quite tricky to you know, it's one of the hardest legs when it is sideways like that. So they're clearest to us, closest to us on screen, Diaz Marino leading this one out, and then still in that second position, Fleissner of Czechia.
Tell you what, you know, surprises me, the likes of Charlie Cousins, the big man, you know, he's not up there. I think he does sort of like push through in the second half.
He does indeed. So we're looking at 105 there. So that's our friend Joel. He has a big hat on him. That's why we were unsure who he was. So Joel Nakaranen representing Finland.
I can't see how he's going to get a medal in this, because he must be, you know, pretty absolutely destroyed after winning that gold in the mixed doubles.
But this is what he trains for.
Yeah, this is what he loves. I suppose you're right.
This is what he loves. And look at him. He's really pushing himself right up in there. So he came from the outside line, and he's just going to keep rowing right around that. Look at this.
So he's keeping wide.
Out of trouble. Czechia have now moved themselves, Fleissner there, into first position ahead of Spain 02.
I want to say, does that look like Charlie Cousins there with the blue cap on?
I think so,
I'm just guessing that might be the British Olympic sculler turned coastal rower.
I think you are right.
Decent turn there from Charlie, I think.
Decent turn, yeah. He's really taken to the coastal. He's a medalist in the beach sprints as well over the last few years.
So he had to pull his blade in there, that sculler, which is
Switzerland.
The Swiss sculler 113. At the back, that is the Polish sculler Radowski.
Yeah,
20 years of age, from the Poznan Rowing Club, where they do so much racing. I cut you off there, Neve, sorry.
That's okay, Martin. Don't worry. I was just going to confirm positions there just as we start to get the graphics into us. So in the lead after that first turning point, Fleisner of Czechia, then Nakarainen of Finland in second. Diaz Marino, who had led it from the start, down into third positions. And as you mentioned, Charles Cousins then of Great Britain in that fourth position. So they're the top four at the moment. Slovakia, Oliver Simic in those top positions as well. So things will start to open up here now as we go down 1,800 metre leg.
Yeah, it's very exciting this because, you know, Nakarainen is not fresh and he's right up there. I mean, you know, similar style to you saw him in the double behind Ava Karpinen, and also the look around. You saw him take a long look over his shoulder. I guess, you know, navigation is the personal responsibility of each athlete. They can't just steer off somebody else and hope that they're right, can they?
Absolutely. He has so much experience that he knows, you know, he's better off trusting his own instincts as opposed to following the boat that's in front of him, because you never know how you know, if they're going right or not.
So on this eastward leg, what are the waves doing to these boats?
Yeah, so you can see like the distance that's being opened up now between Finland here and Finland, who are now in that third position, and Spain 02, who are in that second position. So basically the swell is coming pretty much straight off their stern, slightly sideways here, but it's all about the timing of your stroke and getting the stern up on top of one of the swells, and you can see just how far it is pushing them and propelling them. You're getting free speed. So now Spain 02 coming back into touching distance of first position.
That burst that we saw from Diaz Moreno there, that was kind of, he felt a wave underneath him and thought, I'll catch it. So he did like a 10-stroke sprint.
Exactly.
That's quite disconcerting, isn't it? Because you're not there for one pace. You're using this tactic with the waves, and you know, that takes you into anaerobic energy, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely, because you know, you can go out there with a strategy and say, oh, I'm going to stay at 34, 32 strokes per minute all the way around, but it doesn't work like that in reality. You know, particularly those experienced coastal rowers, they are going to feel the water, they're going to feel the surge on the stern, and as soon as it starts to go under the stern and heading towards them, they have to match the energy and the speed of that wave to help propel them. And you just saw how much of a distance it can create between you and your competitors.
So feel is everything when you're on the boat,
everything.
and he's going to miss the buoy, isn't it? Or is he going the wrong?
So this is just a visual marker, so it actually doesn't matter which side you go to this one.
Oh, thank you for that. So we've got our first sculler out there, boat number 105. Is that Joel Nakarainen?
Yeah,
Has he
completely got in the lead now.
We didn't see him come through there, did we?
Yeah, so
That's
he
crazy.
used those waves.
What is Nakarainen doing coming through there?
He's using the waves.
Well, that's sensational.
Yeah. So actually, we're seeing a little bit of a struggle here from Fleisner. Maybe not as experienced with using the waves, potentially.
Yeah, and there's a little sprint there from the Spanish athlete yet again to try and get just a ride from the waves.
Free speed.
Yeah,
all
Diaz
about it.
Moreno. And Charlie Cousins, the British sculler, has just let himself get detached from that lead group of three, the medalists.
Yeah, and you're seeing Joel now having to do a lot of looking around because now he's in the lead boat. Again, he's going to want to trust his own instincts anyway, but he's taking his time to make sure he's right on course. You know, you're better off taking the extra second and looking around and making sure you're heading straight for that marker, rather than...
I'll tell you what, this will be an incredible feat if Nakarainen manages to pull off a win in this event and in the Club Coastal Mixed Doubles.
Oh, it would be incredible.
Or the national doubles, wasn't it? It wasn't the club doubles.
Yeah, it was the national. Yeah, so we saw Spain 02 there using the waves as well, close the distance between himself and Nakarainen. But Joel there, once again, just using the wave to his advantage, and he's opened up the gap again. So this is how quick things can change in this sport. You know, and getting used to being, the more time you spend in these conditions and getting used to how the waves affect your boat, the more advantage you're going to get in a race.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. So
Nakarainen just edging out maybe a length. It can all change on the turn, as we've seen so many times this morning and yesterday.
I'm interested to see what's happening in kind of fourth and fifth position. Probably Cousins in one of those boats. The one then in that fifth position, just taking the inside line from him. So there's a bit of manoeuvring happening back the field here as well. They'll be starting to approach that turn now, turning point 4.
Nakarainen's going away. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, it's sensational what he's doing here. And just interrupting his rhythm to check on the position of where he's headed.
Staying super relaxed at that catch position as well, you know. He's taking his time to make sure he has... You can see like how he just went sideways there and just responded to it. He let his body go so easily.
Yeah, little mistakes can cost you, and you know, it may seem like every stroke is similar, but every stroke is totally different to the one before it. It's a completely different feel, and much more so in this sport than flat water rowing. And so therefore you've got to be in the moment, alive to the boat, alive to what it's doing. Generally say to, you know, young athletes, just feel the boat. The boat will tell you what to do.
Exactly.
And this is a great example in coastal rowing of how you have to be switched on with your boat.
Totally, totally. And not only do you need to be in the moment, you nearly need to be ahead of the moment and start to feel any changes as it starts to come in and not wait. You can't wait to respond. You have to be completely on top of it.
So the race for 4th and 5th, is that closing up, I think, between... Third place sculler, has the third place sculler
He's
stopped?
completely stopped, yeah. Looks like Fleisner of Czechia has completely stopped rowing. We're not
So
getting
there
close-up
must be
shots to see what's happening.
A safety boat will go and check him.
Yeah, so it could be a seat.
Czechia him.
Right. Wait till the Finnish sculler comes into the finish.
Yeah, there's the boy, and Nakarainen will be going round this turning buoy, and that will be signal for the turn back towards the west, heading towards the beach now.
Yeah, he was able to line himself up perfectly wherever he wanted to go. That blade slightly hit off the marker there for Spain.
So it is now 2 scullers in 3rd and 4th, and we are, if we can see a blue cap, that'll be Charlie Cousins. If we can't, he'll be further back, and when our drone shot goes a little closer, we'll see who
He's
those
going further
scullers
away right
are.
now. Yeah, we should get some graphics and timing shortly as well. But Joel Nakarainen there holding on to his lovely lead there ahead of Diaz Marino of Spain 02. Great battle for that bronze medal. Not sure right now who it is, but that 3rd and 4th position, that bronze medal is completely up for grabs right now. I'm not sure if Czechia got going again.
Well, we'll let you know what happened to Fleisner, and if we can. But there's a great battle going on for the bronze medal, and that could take them up towards the silver medal from Spain. There we see scullers going past. So we're looking sort of at scullers further back. Sculler 113 from Switzerland, Chris Brown.
And 108 there, Slovakia.
We're further back in this contest. So that's our camera at that turning position.
And showing a lovely shot of the swell, actually, because the drone always doesn't really show off how much of a bounce there is out there, whereas that shot kind of showed you how much of a up and down swell there is. So they're going facing into that sideways swell here now. This leg is 600 meters as they come straight back towards the beach. It is still Joel Nakarainen there leading it out, followed in by Spain 02, Diaz Marino. And in the mixed double 2 years ago in Barletta at the World Rowing Coastal Championships.
So you can see the swell, great shot there of the swell and the way the athletes are dealing with the swell. From the other side now, I think in that start leg, they're going towards the beach, but they're going away. So now the swell is coming into the port side of their boat, the stroke side. And Nakarainen very tight on that buoy there, that red buoy. He's going to do a 90-degree turn to go completely westward. So they're now headed back into the beach. And this is going to be turning westward along it. And Nakarainen, must ask him where he got that hat from. Charlie Cousins with the blue hat there in the foreground. And that's Spain 01, I think we saw just
with Ava, and then Salvador Diaz Marino cancelled. They wanted to stay out in the rough water because that's what they love, that's what they thrive in. So just a big look around now, because this is the 2K leg that we're on at the moment. So hard to see. So these were the positions at the last turning point. Charlie Cousins moved into that third spot.
Yeah, decent 6 seconds lead over the Spain 1 of Marc Francois Montfort. So if Cousins can pick a medal up from here, and Fleissner
Got back going.
he got back going. So I wonder what it was with Fleissner.
He came off the rails or something. Maybe he just wanted a break.
Well, yeah,
Scratch
a
his
bit like
nose.
Chris Back, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
serious contender for a medal, a 27-year-old Czech athlete. Czechia athlete. We watch Nakarainen on his long journey back on this 2K leg, isn't it?
It is.
Into the swell.
Yeah, they'll have that kind of midpoint visual marker again. They can go either side of it. That's it there in the background, that yellow marker.
Is he doing anything technically different into this swell here?
Yeah, he's very much slowed it down, lying back a little bit more. He's a little bit shorter at the catch. Big lead here, back to second position. Diaz Marino of Spain, 0-2. 10th at Barletta World Championships 2 years ago in the mixed double. He was 5th earlier. So this is, you know, they've by the time they finish this, that will be 12K that they've done on this course today.
You know, I think in terms of the medal race, I wonder if these positions are set, or if Charlie Cousins, who can sprint, you know, he is the fresh athlete here. You know, as you said, both silver and gold have raced already earlier in the mixed doubles. So you think that would be advantage to Cousins. I just wonder if the British Olympic sculler has got that thought in his mind as he's ploughing his way through this swell.
What I will say is that while it looks set on the water, there's been often the case over the years whereby a rower will come in off the water and they're shepherded into the penalty box because they made a mistake or they crossed the fit and start line before they should have. And so that allows the second and third place to come. Or what we saw last year in the women's solo at the World Championships is the rower leading it right around the course. She missed one of the turns and continued rowing and got a DNF, did not finish.
That is so frustrating.
Even though she won on the water. So, you know, even though you're third right now.
The lad who jumped out of his boat because, you know, somebody on the warm-up course hit him, and it wasn't his fault, the Italian athlete, and he decided to swim to the shore because I think he broke a blade, which you're not supposed to do. And not only did competitors overtake him, but he jumped out onto the shore and the judges said DNF to him and he went mad.
There you go. So it's not over until it's over in this sport. But to have an advantage of this much, to be in the lead this much, you know, that's the place you want to be, because if any mistakes happen, at least you may have time to kind of overcome them.
But I'm just wondering, is Joel racing again today, or is he going to take a little break, or maybe he'll do an off long they've been sculling for?
Yeah, majority of them will have a stroke coach with them, you know, and it's good to keep an eye so that you know how long is left in that 2K leg. So yeah, they don't have too far to go. They'll be coming in towards start of the chicane. They're not coming into our view yet, but he's still keeping that nice steady stroke rate. From this angle, it actually looks like second place Spain 02, Diaz Marino, maybe closing in, but I don't know. I just think it's the angle.
No, I think it's the angle. I think you're right, actually.
But it's a good shot of the swell.
Yeah, it's a great shot of the swell. I think there's probably about 30, 40 metres between them. And the angle is deceptive. I'd like to pull back and say, yeah, there you see. So Charlie Cousins is actually closer to Diaz Moreno, the third place sculler, than Nakarainen is.
Yeah, and Cousins will have fresh legs for that run. So you'd wonder, will that help him as well? And probably fresher legs for the sprint in, not only on the beach on the run, but that final 300 metres on the water.
Yeah, well, I guess Cousins, is he at full gas now, like 100%? Will he start to really sprint as he gets closer, as he realises? I mean, there's the hotel there the British team are staying. So Nakarainen, if he looks to his left, he will know, OK, so there's the hotels, the gap between them and the next hotel along the beach is where this finish is.
Yeah, he'll have a good idea where he is.
Yeah, so that's pretty motivational to have passed that point, and you can actually fix onto something on the bank that you recognise.
Yeah, I think mentally that 2K leg is challenging. Like physically, these guys are training for this. You know, they're endurance athletes, but mentally it's a hard one. You know, particularly to try and hold on to the lead when you know people are. You can't ease off at any point. But I feel like Joel Nakarainen probably spends a lot of time on his mental game as well as the physical game.
Oh, totally. Like, you could sense that, couldn't you? And just always looking for improvements to make a difference.
Absolutely.
Like, to look for a flat with him and his partner and their little baby in Alicante, and for him to build an altitude chamber so I guess he can sleep at altitude
and get fitter.
Yeah. Or maybe Matilda, the little baby, can sleep at altitude and get fitter quicker.
Yeah, all with the aim of making LA 2028. That's what he has his sights set on. So he'll be looking back to the beach and he'll be able to see that big yellow marker in the background there. That will be one of his last turning points. So he knows he's starting to approach the chicane here now. So 3 more turns to go. And he has so much experience of turning, both from like beach sprints. You have to know how to turn pretty efficiently in beach sprints.
I guess the jeopardy in here is that sort of Diaz Moreno Cousins battle, Spain and Britain for the silver and bronze medal. Nicely round from Nakarainen.
Yeah, nice little back on the right side, right hand. Pull with the left. He got around nice and efficiently, didn't drop too much speed now. So straight back towards the beach before the next turn. It'd be great to see now second and third position what's happening back there.
Yeah. There we see Nakarainen. I think that's our shot from the bank, boat number 105. Didn't wear that hat this morning, and there is 7 seconds between. I think that Diaz Moreno has pretty much got that silver medal nailed on, unless Charlie can do something spectacular around the turns, or Diaz Moreno goes slow around the turns.
Yeah, Charlie's a good sprinter. Like, he's medaled in the beach sprints the last couple of years as well, so we know he has power in him. So maybe that 300-meter sprint back on the water will suit him.
Nakarainen going close to the buoy, and beautiful turnaround there. He's really digging it in there on that starboard side blade.
Yeah.
Absolutely nailing that turn, and he's going across. We can see him out there. He's going to the next buoy. One more buoy, Joel, and you're on the homeward run.
He'll be happy to see this final marker now. It's great to see, he has a big long lie back, but around the turn we'll see it now, how he shortens up and just pulls, probably quarter slide, maybe half slide, and then back into his full strokes again. He doesn't want to overturn this one too much.
I'm just looking through the binoculars, Neve, and I think Diaz Moreno is pretty much got a decent lead over Charlie Cousins. I think it's going to be Finland, Spain and Great Britain in the Coastal Men's Solo, the National Federation event.
I feel like that battle maybe between Charlie and Diaz Moreno has got them a bit closer to Finland, to Joel, I think.
Yeah, totally.
Not a huge gap now as they went around that last marker.
He really did so well. He was kind of like conservative relatively for him off the start, and then he just sped through in that long eastward leg out.
Interesting to see him not looking around too much. And actually, he's kind of going a bit right of the course here now, over the finish line. So if he looks around a little more, he might straighten up a little bit, because Diaz Marino, if he catches a wave here, that could completely change things.
And his boat handlers are shouting to him, come closer. So
now he's looking.
Not the quickest run up. Moreno has got closer to Nakarainen.
Yeah,
so that's interesting. Moreno's really sprinting like a demon. He thinks he might get out of the boat, but Nakarainen has done that expertly.
Hands in the air.
Yeah, and takes the applause of the crowd, the 32-year-old. A massive yes as he crosses, a massive yes on his knees. Thankful. Diaz Moreno looks completely exhausted and delighted all in one. And the big man, Charlie Cousins there, 36 years of age, all 1.98 m of him, with his blue cap on, tied under his chin.
Lovely bronze medal there.
Brilliantly worked bronze medal from the big man there. So I guess the thing, well, who's going to come fourth? That will be fascinating here. But what position is Jan Fleissner going to be in?
So it looks like another Spanish sculler here, 110. So Spain won, that is Marc Franquet coming in. He'll be in that fourth position. Taking his sprint up the beach here now. So here we have him, Marc Franquet, Montfort. Spain won that fourth position.
35-year-old.
Is this Fleissner?
It might be Fleissner. You can't see from here. Looks like he's got a Czechia singlet on, and we'll try and find out why it was
that he was stopped.
That the Czechia sculler just stopped.
He had a great start.
He did
first
have a
couple
great
of
start
first two
there.
legs.
And there is Fleissner coming across the line. But what happened to him?
He looks like he's hurting.
Does look like he's hurting.
Bit of a gap now back to, looks like it could be another Finland. Oh no, we only had one Finland. One.
Yeah, we only had one Finnish sculler. He's got blue, and he's got a great sprint for the line. It's the Slovakian sculler. It's Oli Simek, the 19-year-old. Fresh legs, and stops his watch. Take his total time, just over the half-hour mark. And one of the scullers there, sculler 113, Chris Brown from Switzerland. We did see him a few times in the race. He's coming up to the beach now. And the 52-year-old Swiss from the Grasshopper Club in Zurich, famous rowing club. Been out from there myself once.
He's pretty happy with his finished position.
Still scullers out there going through the chicane and coming into the beach. Only 13 men's solo in this Federation Coastal Endurance event.
We have Jerry Owen there of Great Britain. We saw him earlier in the mixed doubles National Federation
From
race.
Nottingham Rowing Club.
Yeah, he's put a lot of time into coastal and the beach sprints over the last few years. I know his mom Martha is here with him as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he raced with his partner Laura earlier on in the mixed double. So well done there to Jerry Owen.
And this is, I think, Philip Drobzhinsky from Dansk University of Technology, 19 years of age, crossing the finish line. And Our next athlete is on the left-hand side of the course.
Latvia, it looks like. 2 Latvian scullers. I think, yeah, all the scullers now on that final approach.
That's a hell of a sprint
Yeah.
from Romo Mendenis. Multiple podium finishes. And Kirila Boskovos, the 18-year-old, the second Latvian sculler. Another Polish sculler, Poland won. Bartholomew Radowski from the Poznan Rowing Club, west of Poland. This may be our final competitor beaching up now.
Oh, I think this is your tattoo man.
Ah, from Malta, yeah, Mark Shembry, 36 years of age. He has got a fine collection of tattoos. His left arm doesn't seem to have as many as his right arm, but his legs are certainly very finely adorned.
So, Martin, I think that rounds out our morning of racing.
Can't believe, yeah, we started back at 9 o'clock, so 3¼ hours later, we're at the end of the morning programme, which has been fantastic to have your company with us. If you've been with us for any part of the day, we will be starting again with the Club Coastal Women's Solo, which begins at 2 o'clock local time. That's 1300, 1 o'clock Central European Summertime. And we've got a few more finals after that.
Yeah, 5 finals to go this afternoon, followed by the victory ceremonies for all the finals that we've seen today. So make sure you stay with us. We'll be back on air about 5 minutes before that first race, so 5 minutes to 2 local time. But for now, I've been Niamh Hayes, Martin Cross.
Yeah, me, Martin Cross. It's bye for now. See you later.